My mother-in-law gave me inappropriate birthday gifts, so we walked out on her.
Ooh, maybe you want to walk in. Why am I so small?
I effing hate her. Hope he starts off strong. Long-time lurker, first-time poster, all that jazz. My mother-in-law and I have never gotten along. My husband and I were college sweethearts and got married 3 years ago. We've been together for 10 years total. No kids, no real plans for kids right now because of my health. By the way, this comes from Gray Whale Songs, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit and send them in.
Do it!
See, I was diagnosed with cancer, a rare blood cancer. The treatment is relatively light, though. It's mostly maintenance. So dear husband and I decided not to tell his family. Decided not to tell the in-laws because they're terrible. That's where we're at.
Okay. I mean, I guess if they have a terrible, terrible relationship, then I think that makes sense. But I don't know. It's also
terrible.
Terrible, then maybe. I would just feel bad not telling my mom I had cancer, you know?
True. Well, it's not you.
I know. It's not me, but I can't help but just place myself in these stories.
It's true. It's true. So mostly because I'm pretty sure that mother-in-law is a hypochondriac, and as soon as she hears about it, she'll suddenly have it the next week too. So effing exhausting. Anyways, back to the story. My birthday was earlier this month. I didn't really want to do too much, but dear husband wanted to take me out to dinner, and somehow his parents decided to tag along too. I have no clue why or how. I'm assuming he mentioned it to his mom in passing, and she thought it would be fun to join. It wasn't.
Called it from 1 billion miles away.
Not gonna be good.
Hubble Space Telescope.
Eating with the monster-in-law
looking into space
is not fun. Ooh, God. So dinner was good, as in the food was good. Dear husband took me to my favorite place in the city that has little sheerish curtains that wrap around the booths that make everything more romantic, just what you want with your 70-year-old in-laws.
Oh, yeah.
And intimate. Ooh. Sadly, I had to see my mother-in-law's face every time I looked up.
Like looked up from smooching your girl.
And then you see Granny.
Yeah.
Big old Granny to the face. Total mood removed from this planner. I almost wanted to open the curtains because it was kind of awkward, but I decided to drop it and focus on my meal instead. After the waitress brought up our dessert, dear husband said that he had a present for me when we got home. Mother-in-law asked why I didn't bring it.
Oh, this is a kind of present that only happens in the bedroom.
Oh, God.
Dear mother-in-law, Valentine's Day coming up.
Ooh, call back to the title and what's about to happen. Put an icy in the comments. Dear husband got a look on his face that I easily recognized. The do I tell her the truth or do I lie face. He picked truth and told her that he did bring it, but since they surprised and joined us, he thought he'd give it to me at home. Why he even brought it up, I will never know. Mother-in-law gets all giddy and bouncing in her chair and says, open it, open it, open it!
Oh, jeez.
Like an effing 4-year-old on Christmas.
Well, man, you know, she doesn't know what it is, so maybe she's just really excited, you know?
Granny, you gotta, listen, we talk about clear communications, but every once in a blue moon, you gotta pick up on a hint.
Yeah.
You gotta pick up on a hint every once in a while. Although, you know, maybe she really didn't know. Talk to me.
She does know what it is and is still excited.
That would be
concerning.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Dear husband shrugs, looks at me for approval, and asked me to hand him my purse. Confused. Sneaky man had hid it in the purse somewhere between the house and the restaurant. What a sweetie. It was a very beautiful tennis bracelet with my favorite gemstones.
Okay. I feel like that's fine to open up within parental scrutiny.
Sapphires and amethysts. I gave him a hug, a quick peck on the lips, a big thank you. We put it on. It almost canceled out the bummer of the in-laws showing up. But then my mother-in-law takes a giant effing needle and pops my happiness bubble with one sentence. I brought a present for you too, OP.
Isn't that's fine?
No.
Why is that? I don't see anything bad right now.
Crap.
Besides them crashing the thing.
True. Crap. F. Dang. Turtle farts. Mother-in-law reaches under the table and presents me with a box, like one of those thin clothing boxes that the department stores put their shirts in. I was thinking it was a blouse or something. I could handle a blouse, but she has this canary-eating smile on her face and is giggling intermittently. Yeah. It's definitely not a blouse. I open the box, and if you read the title, you know what horrors are awaiting me in there. Lingerie?
That is a weird present. That is a weird present.
I will say, not as weird as the father-in-law getting that for you.
I guess so. It could be worse.
It could be worse.
But in front of everyone?
In the restaurant, in front of the fam.
Golly,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
I mean, I guess she just wants her little boy to have a good time, you know?
God. Who are you mothers and why do you do this?
Hey, dude.
You've seen it too many times.
She's just trying to set that alley-oop, you know? Set the mood at dinner so
man.
her little boy can do a slam dunk.
So he says, really? It's not like I even, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an inappropriate time for a mother-in-law to buy her daughter-in-law lingerie, bridal shower, maybe. Either way, it definitely wasn't that. Just my birthday. I immediately blushed, and I'm pretty sure my mouth fell open. My mother-in-law, oh God. My mother-in-law started giggling more. Father-in-law kept staring at his chocolate lava cake, not looking up.
Yeah, hoping to just disappear.
Yeah. Or he's worried.
He's just gonna gorge out his eyes.
Or he's getting ideas.
Oh no.
The lava cake.
He's like, where's my lingerie?
Dang, Riley. Why are we one-upping each other in the worst way today?
Oh,
lava
geez.
cake. Come on. A Chili's lava cake? Tell me that doesn't remind me.
I know what it looks like.
I don't know what it looks like.
So, dear husband is looking at me with a what the F face. It was a black cagey bodysuit type of thing. If I'm being completely honest, it's probably something I would have bought for myself. It was definitely cute, but no way I'd want it now. Now it's effing tainted.
Ah, come on. Just get over it. At least mother-in-law has good taste.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
it could be worse. You get a bad taste.
That's true. That's true. It could be a corset, Victorian style.
Or I guess, is it worse that she knows exactly what you want?
Yeah, why does she know exactly what her husbands want?
Yeah, Snow Wolf says she snooped. She's been having little cameras, making sure her little boy's game is just top notch.
I unfortunately wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, got a little earpiece.
Oh,
son, a little to the right. Slower.
You guys thought I was bad.
Rabbit?
You guys thought I was bad. We've got like late night stream. Hey, Florida John is here, but late night stream Sam is here. That's the furthest level of unhinged. That's as far as it goes.
Grab the hair a little bit.
Okay. So mother-in-law whisper squeals, hold it up. What?
Dude, that's what you say to her son. Come on. Do you need one of those little blue pills?
Anymore, no more.
What? No, we're in a restaurant. She kind of pouts and says, but there's more underneath.
No, she doesn't need to give more. This is too much.
I reached down under the tainted lingerie, which was about 3 times too big, by the way. Thanks, mother-in-law. It's not like I'm sensitive about my weight or anything. And I pull out an envelope. More, open it, from the peanut gallery. Mother-in-law. I had to physically stop myself from rolling my eyes. I opened the envelope, and it was a handwritten note from her announcing that she had bought me a 3-month subscription to Match.com.
For a third?
Ooh.
A 3-month subscription. I don't know if that's a subtle hint.
Like in 3 months?
3 months for what?
Till it's time to wrap it
To
up?
find a new lover?
No. I think if anything, she's like, hey, you could wear this nice lingerie to you and hubby's new match. You know, you're looking for a little unicorn. You know,
how many grandbabies does she want?
She wants a lot.
Yeah,
she wants a lot.
You're right, because if there's more women, then
more grandbabies.
You can have 2 women pregnant at the same time, and then you just keep.
She wants a harem.
And then imagine they do a party of 3 even more times. How many grandbabies can you get then?
Yeah, exactly. You just keep adding people in. That's true.
Did I mention that I'm married to her son? Dear husband was reading over my shoulder, and he snatched a note out of my hand to read it over again. I was really proud of him because he actually had some spine and asked her, what in the world was this? They don't cuss. Cussing is very wrong. People who cuss have the devil controlling their tongue.
Wait, and they're okay with lingerie and
Party of threes.
party of threes?
Of course.
Some
What?
menages?
Don't you dare say the word that's doo-doo, but hey, you can go cheat on your wife.
Maybe it's ethical non-monogamy. You know? That's
Hey.
kind of what it sounds like.
They're
What the heck?
real ethical. Her smile fell, and she said that she thought I could use it. Why, you ask? Because she's heard that we've been arguing a lot more lately. She wanted me to know that she supports me in singlehood, and there's plenty of fish in the sea. Don't worry, OP. I'm sure you'll find someone who's perfect for you.
Wait, so
Yes. She heard arguing. She said, hey, here's some lingerie. Here's a subscription to Match.com. Good luck finding someone else. You know, I've been with your son for 10 years. We're married. But you've been arguing. Here you go.
Wow.
Here you go.
Yeah, Allie says she couldn't spring for Hinge. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
dude, wild.
I was speechless.
Yeah, me too.
I would be too, OP. And really regretting not saying F you to their no alcohol rule and getting the dang glass of wine. Wow, they can't even drink wine at the dinner with the parents.
Dude.
Wow.
Southern
And
Baptist.
again, this mom is giving a lingerie
Yep.
at the dinner table.
Yep.
This is why.
So logical. So much logic.
Oh.
Dear husband got his act together before I did. He was very calm. Too calm, if you know what I mean. He said very steadily, Mom, we're not getting a divorce. We're very happily married. You were at our wedding. You were at our anniversary cookout. You were here at OP's birthday celebration, and you've seen how much we love each other. OP already found her perfect match. Me. She doesn't need this. You should try and get your money back.
I love how he's still concerned about her getting a refund. like no, like
You know
it's
what?
not that we don't want. It's like, hey, you should really try to get a refund. I don't know if they have like a 30-day return policy.
Maybe they got some credit, you know.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
pass it around to your,
Which
single
one's worse
spinsters.
though? Which one's worse? Your mom giving you a subscription to Match.com because she wants y'all to divorce, or your mom thinking that y'all are so in love but just need a little thing to spice up your life, and so she wants you to get a third.
Honestly, I will take the third because basically the third is like, I am so cool with you that
Yeah.
I'm down to do something that like everyone thinks is weird to like help you guys find happiness. This way is like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be married to my son.
I guess
like
that's
you got to
right.
get out of here.
I guess that's yeah.
It's like you're so about them.
One
you know?
is
And-
definitely
yeah.
weirder. Can we do a poll, Riley? Divorce or third? Which one would you rather your mom be pushing for?
True.
Let us know.
And in this way too, she's fighting for the relationship. She's like, I want you guys to still stay together.
He hands her the note and stands up, getting out of the booth. He says that he's sorry, but it's time for us to leave. Thank God we've already paid the check. Mother-in-law is sputtering. Dear husband has never really been this stern on her before, and before she can really form a sentence through the no, stay, but why, but gibberish, dear husband says, come on, Mom, you have to know how inappropriate that was. He pats her shoulder, pats father-in-law on the back, and says, love you guys. We'll see you later. And we both walk out, leaving mother-in-law with a gaping maw and the cursed box behind. I thought I was going to say Mog.
Yeah.
But now it's a few days later, and I'm pissed. I've had the time to stew on it and witch to friends about it, and while they were all appalled and supportive of me, both of them won the dang mother-in-law lottery, so they couldn't really relate or have any advice. What the heck do I do? Do I confront her? Do I bury it and move on while silently steaming? Do I send her a lingerie subscription in not her size anonymously? I'm stuck. Dear husband wants to bury it and move on, build the wall a little higher, maybe not see them or interact with them for a little bit, and let that be that. I'm usually a little more bullheaded than he is, but even I don't like standing up to his mom. She took like a year of law school before dropping out because prego with dear husband. She still blames dear husband for why she's not a lawyer, but that's a whole different
Dude, she
story.
sounds like a piece of freaking work.
What a peach! And she thinks that she's 20 times better and smarter than everyone else because of that. She likes to argue. She practically lives for it. I don't. I like clear, concise, and logical arguments. She likes semantics and red herrings and being a effing C word. Ugh. I'm so over this. What would you do if you were me? And there is I'll read a quick edit. Y'all are so dang cool. Thanks for taking the time to read and help me. I'm sorry if I don't respond to every comment, but I'll promise I'll be reading every single one. And then we have the big update. We have a big task in our hands.
I'm excited for the big update.
So basically, what should OP do? To answer a question, give it like 1 month.
Mom needs a timeout for sure.
1 month timeout, and like, hey, if you do this again, you're just gonna get more and more time and timeout.
Yeah, I think it sounds like there hasn't been boundaries set up previously, and so this would be the first step towards boundaries. But I don't think it's at the point where necessarily you would completely cut off. But I think what this moving towards is low contact.
Yes.
To eventual no contact if they don't get the message.
Listen, mother-in-law needs to wisen up if she wants to keep him. But we have the answers of what happens in this update.
Yep.
She sent us a letter. Or should I say she sent dear husband a letter. Yes, like snail mail. I'm going to transcribe it word for word, including spelling mistakes, excluding real names. Okay, here it is. My dearest firstborn, I am deeply disappointed in your behavior at dinner. I expected that type of disrespect from her, but never from you. Have you been sleeping well? I am worried for you. Perhaps she has been introducing you to the devil more than we thought. I pray for you every night. As your mother, I feel it is my responsibility to warn you about the women you sleep with. She is dangerous, son.
Oh, my God.
You have no idea what she has been telling people behind your back. She is sneaky. My friend, old biddy from the church, works at the hospital and has seen her coming and going a lot lately. Is she on substances? I think that she is stealing the substances from the doctor there. Look on the news. It is a common scam, and she is sneaky enough to pull it off. I know you have been fighting more because you won't answer me when I call anymore.
Oh, my God. She's literally planting the seeds of deceit within their relationship and using her mom network to, like, spin lies.
Yes.
Wow.
And pull some BS.
Wow. You know what? I think this is you got the passcode wrong again. I think this is now like up to like 2 to 4 months of low contact. But again, with a talk before. It's like a talk before saying, hey, this is why we're distancing yourself from you.
Yeah.
If this kind of interaction happens again, it's gonna be longer.
Yeah, the second we see even the slightest whiff of anything even remotely close to this, again, until you dig yourself into a hole of no contact and you can't come out of it. That's what's at stake here.
And the reason that we're trying to push for this like stair-step low contact rather than no contact is something we've seen again and again in these stories and from people that we've talked to. Is like it's really, really tough to cut off family, like just like emotionally, and so you want to make sure they deserve it, because it's no easy task, and something that people have said even when their parents have been terrible is that on the bed where they drift off into the next life, there's always a little guilt for not trying to make things right, even if the parents were the ones who did all the wrong. So that's why we're trying to like just push against the total no contact thing.
And I also feel like it gives her like a chance to try and like redeem herself, and it kind of like way more clearly sets, because it can be so easy for them to manipulate and do all these things. If you clearly say, hey, look, I'm basically gonna take a break from you for 2 to 4 months, and then we're gonna come back, and if anything changes, I'm gonna go. Now at least it's been so clearly communicated that they're like, okay, I can't like waffle something. I'll be like, oh, they can't feign ignorance, or they can't do it as much as they did in the past. Like, it's way more
exactly.
clear-cut.
I mean, it's actually justified. It's actually justified, and I think that's the point we need to get to.
Yes, agreed. Back to OP's mother-in-law's letter. And you wouldn't have given her that knockoff bracelet if you were still happy. Good. Stand up for yourself. I raised you to speak your mind, just like your mama. Put her in her place. On the curb. My God. Now you know what else to confront about her. 2 Thessalonians 3:3.
Oh my God.
But
Get
Lord,
out of here
Get ready.
with the Bible
Get ready.
verses.
But the Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen and protect you from the evil one. I only gave her that gift to let her know that I am on to her. Of course, I did not actually get her a subscription to that sinful site. But now she knows I know I'm watching her. She will hurt you, and I will not stand for it. When you were born, I held you in my arms, kissed you on your head, and promised you to always protect you. So here I am. Listen to your mommy and let her go. A divorce is less sinful than staying with the devil. God will forgive you.
Dude,
in
she's
all caps.
nuts.
She's a
nuts.
psychopath.
Oh, dude. And imagine like using the Bible as a way to just like twist and manipulate someone. Oh, dude. Worst.
Oh yeah,
People
yeah,
be
yeah. Oh
doing
yeah.
that.
The verse before that, and pray we may be delivered from wicked and evil people, for not everyone has faith. Well, first off, she is evil and wicked. You should read
Yep.
the verse before that.
Yep.
Maybe you should look in the mirror, a little mama.
Stop biting God's flow.
Yeah.
Okay, at least be original at a bare minimum.
There we go.
Daniel 9:9. We got another one.
Oh,
we got
let's
another
go.
one.
Let's
Buckle
go.
up.
Let's hear it.
The Lord our God is merciful and forgiving, even though we have rebelled against him. I need you to come back home. Your father was just diagnosed with deadly cancer and shingles. I need you to come home and help
Oh,
your
now
brothers.
she's trying. Dude, she's using every trick in the book. First, she's using the book,
Yep.
the OG book,
Mhm.
and
God ordained it.
And then she's being like, oh, also, we have someone immediately ill and you got to go and come with us
Yep.
and take care of him. So she's like using every little lever in her mom arsenal to make OP under her thumb.
They do not know how to help. Family is most important, and if you will not help them, then brother-in-law 2 will not go to college. He will stay at home and do your duty for you. Galatians 6:2. We got
let's go. Another
one.
banger.
Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Christ commands you to help.
Dude, I love how many Bible verses she's dropping.
I feel like she's just Googling like random stuff and just slapping it.
The thing is also like, I mean, so when I was working on the Amish farm, and was planning stuff with the other Amish kids, they would just drop like Bible verses in their like chat. And I didn't know how to respond. So I just started dropping Bible verses back.
That's because Jesus Christ is my name.
So I think maybe OP just fights fire with fire, drop some like mean Bible, not mean, but like drop some just fire Bible verses
to support
back.
her case. I feel like OP would at least have the intellect to understand what it's saying to then use it, you know.
Also, you could say Galatians 6:5,
Talk
the
about
3 verses
Yeah.
later,
Hit
for
it.
each one should carry their own load.
Oh. Yeah, stop worrying about my load and how much I'm loading up.
That's right. I can carry this load, Mom.
Yeah.
Let me carry it.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
have you prayed about it? Or are we just reciting Bible verses? Have we done that?
Yeah. Get him.
Surface
Get him,
level.
Riley.
Surface
Good
level.
Get 'em.
gracious.
I will come over on Sunday after church to talk over this more with you. Love you and see you soon, Mommy and Daddy. I don't know where to begin. I'm sorry, but cancer and shingles?
Yeah.
Did that strike anyone else as weird? My husband is all kinds of upset and wants to hear her out and help. If it's true, I get it, but especially since she has a history of copying others' diagnoses, I'm feeling extra sketch. Ugh, I knew she would pull some crap like this. Quick edit, I forgot to address this in my last post, and here, no contact isn't currently an option for us because of the brother-in-laws, the husband's brothers. Both brother-in-laws still live at home with her. Brother-in-law 2 is going to college in the fall, graduating high school soon. Brother-in-law 1 is a professional student and still in college. Dude, brother-in-law 1 catching shrapnel over there. Neither of them realizes they can tell her, not yet. She checks their phones and emails. Oh my God.
Emails?
Oh, dude, she is helicoptering.
I mean, she upgraded from helicopter just full NSA.
Mhm.
Like she is just in everything.
I mean, she's like omnipotent at this point.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
Oh,
She
God.
knows when you're sleeping. She knows when you're awake. She knows if that lingerie is making a Valentine's date.
Getting a bun in the oven to bake.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So they're not even allowed to close their room doors. They have to tell her where they're going before they leave the house. And while I can't prove it, I think she's tracking them because they refuse to go anywhere other than where they've told her. Dude, low key, I'm like, can we call like Adult Protective Services or somebody? Because this is getting crazy. Dear husband and I have been their safe spot. We've taught them about the birds and the bees because she refused. We taught brother-in-law how to drink responsibly because he wanted to join a fraternity and we didn't want him to get booze poisoning. They feel comfortable asking us questions and telling us things that they can't tell their parents. I'm not going to take that away from them, especially not from brother-in-law too, because he is the black sheep of the family. He gets the brunt of mother-in-law even more than everyone else, which is crazy.
Because of
to
how
think
much
about.
she's already doing. Like, that is too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
All of this is where dear husband is coming from too. And yes, it took him a long time to break away from his mother. So he understands them more than I do. Plus, he really loves his dad and doesn't want to abandon him either. It's sadly not as black and white as everyone I know, including myself, as what that would be like. One more thing, father-in-law isn't allowed to have a cell phone.
Even he falls under the jurisdiction.
How does it keep getting worse?
Okay, some of this stuff happened to me. My grandfather doesn't have a cell phone. He's not allowed to, but that doesn't sound too crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, he's
But
doing
he's
that
not
by
allowed
choice.
to. That's different. That's
Okay,
different.
okay.
This means he's like whipped.
I mean, to the extent
Max.
of like blink twice if
Dude,
you're doing
Please,
good. Like
please, for the love of God.
we're entering that. No wonder he looked down at the cake. He's just like, oh,
It's
yes,
like, yeah, yes, ma'am.
yes, wife.
Whatever you say.
Whatever you say, wife. Maybe I can have one text if I'm a good boy tonight. One
Let me take
iMessage.
my letter to the carrier pigeon. Is it loud, mama?
I'll use disappearing ink to make it fun and make it special. Our only hope is to catch him at home alone while she's out with her girlfriends. She's usually at a brunch or lunch after church with the old biddies, but since she's planning on coming here tomorrow, I don't know if that's after lunch or if she's canceled it to come and harass us. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to be a difficult witch. It's just a hard situation and unlike anything I've ever been in before. I really do appreciate at least the camaraderie, even if it feels like there's no reasonable options to offer. Again, I'm really sorry. I feel bad for frustrating people with my problems. I've got personal messages calling me uncooperative, and I promise I'm not trying to be. It is just cray complicated. And we have some comments from the people, but really quick, I think I understand the trickiness of helping out the two brothers, which it seems like one's graduating high school, one seems to be older.
And like Opie doesn't want to cut off the brothers from support.
She doesn't want to,
Yeah.
right? I think that this isn't a perfect solution, but just one thing to do is go to both of the brothers and just be like, hey guys, I know it's like expensive, but I would start planning and saving now to move out because my God, will you have a different life being able to live on your, let husband speak to it. It's like, hey, listen, that's my mom too. I'm now living with OP, with my wife. This is a 10,000 times better scenario for yourself.
Yeah.
And like start preparing for it now, because it's probably hard to think while they're in the mom vortex of like breaking away. I think they got to be the ones like, hey, there is a path, but start saving and getting ready now.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree. I've seen similar people kind of go through, maybe not to this magnitude.
Yeah.
But things like that where they're
A lighter version, maybe.
a lot of version, and like, you know, they're in a Christian household, and usually like whenever they're not allowed to like talk about certain things or everything, they kind of get out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad they warned them about, you know, boo poisoning, like beer poisoning,
Mhm.
because like dude probably would have been like, I'm gonna drink until I can't stand anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows what would have happened.
Exactly.
I mean, you wake up the next day yakking, and then you're like, "Where was I?"
Yeah.
Talking from it sounds
Yeah,
like
for sure.
from experience. But we got some relevant comments we're going to dive into. So commenter number 1, old Biddy is breaking HIPAA laws, the medical laws, if you're in the States, and they take that very seriously. Any way to rescue the brother-in-laws from her abuse? How much longer do they have to deal with her crap? Father-in-law is an adult, so there's less you can do about him if he's deciding to live under mother-in-law's thumb. It seems like this is more of a matter of counting down the clock than one immediate no contact given the restraints you've outlined. OP responds, it's definitely a counting down the clock type situation. Just because both of us obviously really care and want to be there for his brothers, when they finally realize they can tell mommy no. We just don't know when that clock will end. Brother-in-law 1 is already an adult. Brother-in-law 2 is graduating high school this month. Both are/will be attending university, where both father-in-law and I work. Wow, that complicates it even more. Wow. OP and the father-in-law work together. And where mother-in-law used to work. It's obviously mostly brother-in-law 2 that we're most concerned about helping right now. Even though brother-in-law 1 is an adult and should be able to handle himself, how he was raised has seriously stunted his mental and emotional age.
That makes sense.
He still lives at home and won't go anywhere that deviates from what mommy says is okay. It's really hard for me to watch. Dear husband did the same thing when we were first dating, like the first few years, and he still often finds himself slipping into old habits, and he's the most rebellious of the 3. Oh, he married his wife and moved in with her.
Crazy.
You'll be happy to know I've reported her to the hospital.
Oh, for a violation of HIPAA?
They said they were glad I told them and that they would take care of it. I don't know what their plan is exactly, but she wasn't there when I went in for an appointment last week. And we have another update.
Oh, another update.
Oh, yeah. We have maybe even more.
Yeah, so it sounds like no contact is not an option because we want to stay. But I still think you can give the support that is needed for the brothers while going low contact.
I agree. And yeah, I think you got to like just really, really, really hammer home the message to the brothers of like, leave.
Nicole H says,
Leave.
do they work at BYU? Is that the college?
Possible. Yeah, because families, like literally the whole family worked there. Yeah, it could be. It really, really could be. But let's get into update number 2. Okay, so this is going to be relatively short because dear husband and I have a lot to talk about, but I needed some time to decompress first. And my way of decompressing is typing all this crap out. Mother-in-law came after church, just like she threatened in her letter. Dear husband called the house to try to talk to father-in-law around the time he knew she should be headed this way. But brother-in-law too informed us that father-in-law was coming as well. Awesome. Dear husband and I decided to throw keeping my health a secret out the window. I donned a surgical mask and we agreed to not let them in the house just in case. No one here should be surprised that deadly cancer and shingles was a massive exaggeration. Father-in-law has a rash on his flank and back. That's it. He hasn't even gone to the doctor yet. He has an appointment with his primary care physician on Monday. Mother-in-law flipped her lid when we told her the reason I was in a mask and we were on the porch was because I, gasp, do have cancer. She called me a copycat and drama queen. How effing rich is that? Which sucks because she's always the one copying people, but it just so happened that like OP literally did have cancer. They previously decided not to tell her, and now she gets to be like, oh, well, look at what you do.
This is infuriating.
I asked her what her hospital friend told her, and she continued to insist that I was a pill thief. So who knows? Either way, I'm still calling my oncologist tomorrow and letting her know. Father-in-law didn't know that mother-in-law had threatened to keep brother-in-law brother 2 away from college if dear husband didn't return her home. Wow. This was the first time I've seen him look mad in her presence. He told her that would never happen and practically begged us not to worry about it. Mother-in-law brushed him off and said it was a joke. It was a joke. Typical, excuse me while I go find my Ives, which just rolled right off. I roll to the maximum. I mean,
dude. Well, at the very least, I feel like father-in-law is now pushing back. I feel like he's had a little spaghetti noodle spine for the first half of the story, or up until this point, really. And now, finally, like this, I feel like his spine is slowly like the water's leaving it, and it's turning into like the spaghetti right before you put it in the pot. You know, it's like
before the pot spaghetti.
Before the pot, it's like nice and firm, and it's still breakable. Like it's not like,
but it's getting there.
But it's getting there. You know, it's increasing in lack of just noodliness.
Where we might get to the point where we can't break it in half.
Yeah,
shout
maybe.
out to
I mean, hopefully one day. We can only dream.
We'll see. This might be his Neville Longbottom moment. Shout out to Harry Potter. Mother-in-law also went on this really demented tirade about how rude I was for not taking her birthday present home. Just like we assumed, she tried to say, it was a joke. It was a joke. Apparently, the whole letter was also a joke.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny.
Yeah,
You're
why don't you become a
hilarious.
comedian, Mom?
Yeah, drop
with all
some
these jokes.
big old Bible verses so
Dude.
everyone will laugh.
I did bring up that her pastor would probably not like how strongly she was advocating for divorce. Fire.
Tell her, pastor on her.
Fire.
Let's go.
You're
Get her
giving
kicked out.
Dude, you're giving her lingerie. You're signing her up for Match.com
Oh,
while
yeah.
she's married, and you're pushing for divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
She might get kicked
Yep.
out of the church.
Yeah.
Dude, you could, because if you go up to her, say, hey, this is wrong, and then you bring a couple of friends, hey, this is wrong, and she still doesn't listen, you can bring it to the church. Get her kicked out.
I would go
love
straight
this
to the
idea.
church ASAP. I would
Well,
go right
the
now.
Bible says you have to do 3 steps. It's like you talk to them one-on-one. If they don't listen, you talk to them with a group of friends.
They
If
already
don't
talked
listen-
to them one-on-one. Group of friends.
We're
Can
in a
you-
group right now.
Yeah, we're
with the brothers and
yeah. We're in a group. She's not listening.
Okay,
I think we can go all the way to the top.
we've got
Yeah.
the fast pass, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah.
Straight to the big boss. She looked like she wanted to snap my head off, but after glancing at dear husband and seeing his strong face, she immediately switched from anger to crying and grabbed dear husband's hands. She said that she worried for his salvation and that she would stop joking about me being the devil if I would prove it to her and be baptized in her church. What? At this point, I just sighed and said that I would think about it.
What? No.
I just wanted her to stop. I told her that all I wanted was for us to all get along, and especially given my health, I would really appreciate it if she would back off. Dear husband backed me up and said that her shenanigans were only adding to our stress. He also told her that we haven't been fighting. We've just been spending more time together since my diagnosis. Yeah, he's not answering your calls because he's spending time with his wife who has cancer. Ha. Mother-in-law looked like we did the old 1-2 diddly-do to her straight in the gut. She sniffled and said that she guessed if I couldn't handle her sense of humor.
This is not humor. You're gaslighting everyone.
Honestly, I want to do the church thing right afterwards. I want to get a comedic tour agent, a comedy tour agent, to pay him to say, hey, listen, lady, you got talent. I've been hearing all the jokes you've been telling, and we are about to put you in theaters, 1, 2, 3,000 people, and we're gonna just let you go. We're just gonna let you just do your thing.
But ideally, maybe in like a country where they stone bad comedians.
God, I was thinking more tomatoes.
I don't know if anyone does tomatoes. I think it's
That's like the classic thing.
Yeah,
That was so
that
like
was it was like 1900s. I think
Oh
right
yeah, and
now
Stones is more recent.
well, no, the people are still using stones.
Stones
Oh,
are the
God.
original.
People are still using stones. It's either there's
Yeah.
no in between. It's either booze or stones.
No.
Or booze. Let's do some good old fashioned booze.
Stones.
Destroy her.
I want
sense of self.
stones.
Her pride. Listen, she's got a lot of pride. That's a sin.
I think we need to break
Check it out.
her
Oh
down.
God. All right.
Stones.
While Sam creates a new golden rule around new stone rule over there. She said if I couldn't handle her sense of humor, then maybe she just wouldn't joke with me anymore. Thank you. I would love that. Perfect. Take your passive aggressive crap and stuff it. We quickly discussed Brother 2's upcoming high school graduation party with the whole family. She suggested that I not go because of the cancer. And we're back. That took all of 0.1 seconds.
Yep.
I
We're
told
just-
her, it's crazy.
It's just one little like a ring around the rosy.
Come on.
Infinite.
I told her, no way in heck would I miss that. Brother-in-law 2 has already told me how much it means to him that I would be there. He sees me as a supportive big sister, and I refuse to let her scare me out of being there for him. Of course, I didn't say that. I just told her that my cancer isn't contagious, and my doctor says that as long as I feel well, I can continue living my life how I like.
Okay.
Ooh.
What does
When-
CBF mean?
CBF means certified
Boner file.
bunk funk.
Like
Yeah, I like certified bunk
CBF.
funk.
Certified bunk funk.
That sounds like a new genre. I want to start. Oh, well, Opie says, dear husband told her that we have lunch plans and we have to go. He hugged father-in-law and asked him to please let us know Monday what the doctor says, again, about the rash, not cancer and shingles. Mother-in-law huffed on out to her car and barked at father-in-law to come along when he went to hug me. She's such a witch, man. People have asked for a backstory and how we all got to this place, and I'll write it out after dear husband and I get a chance to talk about all of the current crap. Turns out writing is very cathartic for me, and getting advice about prior crap would not only benefit me, but others in my situation that are reading. Everyone who's commented on my post with uplifting advice and comments, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how helpful it is for me. The whole thing with mother-in-law has felt very lonely, and talking about it with people here is such a relief. It means the world to me. Also, anyone who thinks I'm faking it in the comments, as you can see in my profile, I've been on Reddit for over a year.
Yeah, I got cred. I got that
cred.
street cred. I got karma.
Mostly reading in this forum for advice. I didn't post here before my dinner incident because I didn't feel like she was bad enough for some of the mother-in-laws out there. And I also didn't feel like I was good enough as some of the daughter-in-laws here with shiny spines and excellent comebacks. I'm not good with confrontation, especially with her. I did read some of the stories my life is being compared to, but I guessed I missed the big fake reveal. Either way, the fact that my husband has two brothers that we love and want to help however we can does not mean my life is a lie. My dad has two younger brothers too. Many have two younger siblings.
We got an update 3?
We got an update 3 coming up. We got an update 3 coming
baby.
up. So keep your seatbelts buckled.
Keep them buckled.
I say, play a little devil and spread some rumors around the church and then step away.
Some church rumors. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't spread gossip.
Oh, God.
People
church.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely wouldn't.
Not gossip where the gospel is.
Yeah.
Or
I love the idea of
gospel
telling
gossip.
Or you don't even have to go to church. Just go to a hairdresser.
It's true.
Oh, and also Opie says, we're not going to adopt them. Not going to adopt the brothers. I can never imagine mother-in-law randomly abandoning them. She's insanely possessive. Why would she do that? And yes, kids that are treated the way mother-in-law raised her boys are very hesitant about making their parents angry and triggering a rampage from them, even if those kids should have grown up already. Please, I understand people being hesitant after finding out people were lying on here. That's sick and infuriating. Ask me any question you want. I'll try to answer them all, but please don't go to the other subs and talk crap about me. It reminds me too much of my gossipy mother-in-law. And we have update number 3.
Wow.
Do we have any predictions, any conspiracy theory ICUs going into what I believe is the final chapter?
I mean, I think we can predict with some level of certainty that the mother-in-law is not done with her shenanigans. The shenanigans will continue until the day that she is relieved from her duty of being a mother-in-law. So I think we're in for a little bit more of the same.
Yeah, I think you know what, long shot. I've been going for the long shot conspiracy theories lately. You know, when they start with something like pretty awful and then they end up in jail. HIPAA violations.
Okay.
I'm just gonna yeet a jail.
We're gonna do
conspiracy
jail.
theory. I'm gonna yeet a jail conspiracy theory out there.
Damn. All right. I'm ready to see some jail.
Right.
I'm ready to see some jail.
Well, let's see it in update number 3. Hey guys, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
guys.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm sorry it's been so long for this update. It's been a busy week. Also, I know I understand the need for nicknames. I'm calling her the lingerie and mother-in-law buying prank. Mother-in-law doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. It didn't at all. And I know a lot of people don't want to read a backstory, but it would obviously be best if everyone knew which crazy twats they were reading about / advising about this time. I'm not too good at this, but I'll try to think up one for you guys to make it less wordy and straight to the point next time. So first things first, an update. I did report the nosy biddy who works at the hospital, her mother-in-law's agent who was spilling the beans.
Yep.
They were very apologetic and told me that they would get taken care of.
I'll take care of it. Put some cement shoes on that mother-in-law.
Oh, God.
Make her sleep with the fishes.
Oh, baby. I obviously have no idea what they're doing exactly to take care of it, but I didn't see her at the hospital when I went in last Friday for my latest bloodletting session. Hopefully, she's learned her lesson with whatever they did to her. As for lovely mother-in-law, as I mentioned in my last post, father-in-law just had a rash, most likely, definitely not deadly cancer and shingles. Well, maybe shingles, but no way is this tiny rash whatever the heck deadly cancer was supposed to mean. Everyone eye roll with me at once. I know he went to the doctor, but we surprisingly haven't heard anything back yet. I'm guessing that means good news? That the whole thing was probably a ruse set up by mother-in-law to try and trick us, read dear husband, into forgiving her since she found out about my cancer? No. You see, the sad part is that dear husband is already slipping and wants to just act like everything's normal. So he's our spines are back to water again from the spaghetti,
Man.
uncooked spaghetti.
Dude, grow a freaking spine.
Yeah, this is
Why can't he?
honestly this is getting.
What's wrong with this guy?
If this continues, this is getting into the territory of like, hey, I don't know if I can be with you if you're not going to stand up
Yeah.
and get some space and distance. Come on. But I guess I'm not allowed to talk about that here, am I? Is it okay if I post on Just So Single? I don't know. Even if I'm posting and I'm not sure, I make it just a complete just no. I think I've seen people here do that before, but I can't remember. My memory isn't what it used to be. I practically have a photographic memory now. It's like if it wasn't significant or I don't write it down, it just poofs into Never Never Land, and I don't want to spam the forums. There's obviously many people with many other problems. This coming weekend is the graduation party for brother-in-law too. And I know dear husband wants to go. I want to go too. I love the kid and I don't want to let him down. I also don't want to deal with the effing kraken in middle-aged lady form. So, decisions.
Sheesh.
Do we go to the party or not? Go to the party or not? I don't think it necessarily moves the needle on helping anything.
No, but you just want to make sure that the brothers feel supported.
Yeah, because it is his, I believe it's his graduation party.
Yeah, and
So-
I feel like, if you don't go, I think it's punishing the brother more than it is the parents.
I think you're right.
I
think you're right. Because if it was just a random, like, oh, we're getting together, we're just doing like a backyard barbecue, skip it, don't deal with mother-in-law. But this, it's gonna mean the world to him.
Yeah.
75% of chat right
I would
now
go
is
to the
saying,
party. I would go to the party. It's mostly for your brother.
There we go. There we go. So that's where we've landed. But let's see what OP decides.
Where do you land?
Ooh. After all that being said, quite a few people asked how it all started between me and my ballsy mother-in-law on my post. I have an effing decades worth of stories at this point, but I will start with the beginning, although it's a little benign comparatively. Dear husband and I met at work 10 years back. We both had summer jobs at the large theme park in our state's big city.
Dude.
If it's BYU.
Whoa.
What?
Were you working at Dollywood?
Maybe.
Because I mean, like,
That's
this
Tennessee?
makes sense. They work at Dollywood. They go to a Baptist church or like some Presbyterian church, something like that. And this happens. You got like a mad old lady, dude.
Dude, this could be your hometown.
I could see it.
Is.
I could see it. It was his second year there. It was my first, so he wound up being my mentor. We were dating within a month. Both of us were in college, but I was his first girlfriend, and for the life of me, I could not figure out why until I read his parents, which ended up happening way earlier than either of us expected. So we were both living with our parents for the summer, well, him full-time, but that's another story. And as fate would have it, our parents lived only a neighborhood apart, literally one major street separating us. So one night after work, at the beginning of our official dating, dear husband is making fun of the way I drove home. Apparently his way was better or something. He told me that he would show me the right way to drive home from the city and to follow him. Okay. So I'm behind him the whole way back until we get to that major street, and then he turns right into his neighborhood. I drive straight through and go left into mine. He doesn't see me go left, though. He just sees me go straight. The next morning, we both show up for our shift, and he starts giving me crap about how I didn't do it right. I didn't follow him all the way home. You see, he thought I lived in the neighborhood behind his, not in front. He was expecting me to use his neighborhood as a shortcut, basically, but he never said that, so I didn't know, and that's what he thought. I was just thinking, okay, this kid wants me to come over to his house. Game on. Well, that afternoon, we leave at the same time. Once again, drive behind him. This time, I do as he says. I follow him all the way home, literally to his driveway, and I'm laughing as I get out of the car, picking on him for telling me to do this and how this look of horror was on his face, and he just starts whispering for me to leave now.
I don't
The
know if this is
beast.
cute yet.
The beast is home. She's slithering.
OP's saying how they met.
I hear. So what we're happening right now is the fateful day that this all began. Mother-in-law is slinking, her claws dragging against the hard tile behind the door, and he's like, run,
Ugh,
because she's at his house now.
spooky.
If mother-in-law comes out, it's gonna be
Okay,
game over.
Let's see what happens.
I'm totally confused, but obviously I've done something wrong, so I start apologizing, backing up to my car when I hear this screech of, my baby's home!
Bro.
Come from the front door. Confirmed, I'm a B right there because only dogs could hear that effing pitch.
I
But
get it.
His mom comes rushing around the corner, arms out, ready for a hug, and I swear stops, passed away in her tracks, and her face falls when she sees that he's not alone, and worse, there's a girl with him.
Oh no!
I don't share my
He's gonna be
son.
taken away
I
from his
can
little mama.
I can never forget how big of a tone change there was when she stopped and said, "Who are you?" to me. Dude, I about crapped my pants. She was scary as heck, but I tried to play it off, and I said I was a coworker of dear husband's, and wouldn't you know, see, my parents live right across the street, and he told me to follow him all the way home. See, here I am, So I did. She cut me off and turned to him to ask him why would he invite a girl over without asking her permission first. Isn't he on like year 2 of college? When he said that he didn't invite me over, I swear smoke started coming out of her ears because now I was a liar and a stalker, and I followed him home for no reason. I will say I'm now seeing why she gave the gift of the lingerie in Match.com.
Because she thought she was like stalking.
From the first second she met her, she just decided that,
That
like,
she
I mean,
hates
it would have
her.
been any woman, but like, and then especially the way she's like, oh yeah, I followed him home. She's like, oh, you're a stalker?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then she just never let go of that thought.
Never.
Yeah. What happened? What happened to like opening people with loving arms?
Nope.
No.
We have to turn him away. You want bread? You eat dirt. Dirt's delicious. It's full of minerals. That's what mother-in-law said.
Ugh.
Mother-in-law was Jesus.
Eat dirt, my brothers and sisters.
My brothers in Christ, pick up a hand of sand and chomp down. So now I'm waving my arms while walking closer and saying, no, that's not how it went at all. It's not what it looks like. I just wanted to shake her hand and meet formally and show her that I was a good girl. But I didn't know one thing. His mother hates tattoos. Like, hates tattoos. The photography team also worked the airbrush tattoo booth. And that day had been my day. So I had samples of temporary tattoos all over my arms.
Oh, no. So
Sleeves
now
of airbrush kittens.
the mom's going to be like, and she has tattoos? Who is this floozy?
Turns out that even temporary spray paint tattoos are of the devil. And I had wondered why dear husband never had airbrush tattoos on like everyone else did when he worked at that booth. And me waving my colorful arms around just made everything 10 times worse. She backed up quickly from me, recoiling like I was a copperhead striking at her. Her face scrunched and jumbled up so much it was practically unrecognizable. She stopped me from trying to take her hand and effing whispered, "What are those?" Guys,
The devil on your arms.
the devil
They are.
exists, and he is an airbrush kitten named Whiskers.
Ugh.
Guys, I really don't think I could have been more shocked. I said, "Oh, what? My arms? Like a dumb butt." But you cannot be a dumb butt. You can be the smartest pair of cheeks this side of the Mississippi. And how would they do that, Sam?
They would go look up OK Storytime wherever they get their podcast.
Type it in, listen to full episodes with stories just like this. But ladies and gentlemen, we are quickly approaching the end of the story.
Oh yeah.
But let's say what should we do now, knowing even more background and context?
backstory.
Do we just?
I mean,
go
it was
straight to
doomed from the
context?
beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like this has been a problem for so long from the inception of the relationship, and I'm surprised they didn't put out boundaries earlier. That's what I'm surprised.
Yeah, it seems like reading in between the lines, husband never really stood up very strongly before the incident with the lingerie.
Man doesn't know how to. Man is a floppy sandwich.
It was I mean, she legit raised a cult.
Yeah.
Of kids that would just not do what they think is right, just what mommy says.
What mommy says.
What mommy says.
Simon says what mommy says.
Simon says, "Give me your location at all times."
Yep.
And even if you're with your wife, that's terrible. That is full of sin. How dare you marry a woman and stay faithful to her and have a beautiful, loving relationship and live together?
It's gross.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Gross, honestly.
Let's see our end fatale here. Our fate fatale. She starts backing up from me again, but she's talking to dear husband now, only this time in a low, growly whisper. She's telling him that he better make me leave and get inside right now. I was obviously a very bad girl who shouldn't be around him at all. And if he wasn't inside within the next 2 minutes, she was going to call the police on me for trespassing on her property. What the actual F? I rushed back to my car and said, "It's no problem. I'm leaving right now. Bye, dear husband. See you later." And I sped away as she stared at me from the doorway. When I got home, I told my mom what had happened, and there was no way in heck I was going to continue dating that boy. His mama's crazy. And that's how I first met future mother-in-law. Do we go full no contact?
I mean, with this backstory, I'm like,
Or do we
why
divorce?
would you even want? No, not divorce. But with this backstory, I don't even know why you would like want to have this mother-in-law anywhere near your life. Like I feel like I would have cut her off way earlier.
Yeah. This is
Yikes
Yeah.
territory.
And I was thinking like divorce if because in 10 years he hasn't grown the backbone. Like he kind of needs to.
Oh
gotta be
yeah,
on
I
an
see what you're
expedited
saying.
schedule right now. But I mean, if he can, that's great. But like, I don't know if OP deserves another second after 10 years of this.
Yeah, it's just so much. It's just so
Yeah.
much. But I would love to know what you guys would do. Would you distance yourself from the mother-in-law even more? Would you go no contact, low contact? Would you report this mother-in-law to the church? What would you do? I would love to know what you think.
My brother-in-law called our baby ugly because our baby stole attention from their wedding.
How can it steal attention if it's ugly?
If it's a freaking ugly baby, then no one would want to look at it.
You're lying.
Hi, everyone. I, 26 female, and my husband, 26 male. You can refer to me as Mina if you want. Sure. My brother-in-law, let's call him Jake, proposed to his fiance. Let's call her Emma, almost a year ago. By the way, this comes from Shot Opportunity 3128 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, it was an exciting time and we were very happy for them. About a month after their engagement, I found out that I was pregnant. I waited at least 2 more weeks to announce the pregnancy to both mine and my husband's family. We invited our respective families over for dinner at our house and told them the news about my pregnancy. Everyone seemed happy, except Emma. Of course, there's always someone. She looked annoyed and upset the rest of the night. The next day, my husband got a text from his brother saying how Emma was upset because we tried to upstage her engagement by announcing my pregnancy a little over a month later.
Oh my goodness.
Do you get the whole year?
Yeah, what?
Insane.
Selfish.
We were both confused by this, but I thought maybe she was just stressed out about the wedding planning and I just let it go. But if I only knew this was only the beginning. Every family event after this point, it was like she was trying to compete with me. I have never felt more uncomfortable these past few months than in my entire life. Every time someone asked me about my pregnancy, she would just start talking about her wedding over me. Or just interrupt me whenever I was asked how I felt or baby names. It was odd. I could definitely tell my husband was starting to get really pissed off. I told him not to make a fuss about it and that it will be okay. And boy, was I wrong. The closer we got to the wedding, the bigger I got, about 1-ish months, maybe less away from their wedding. I was 9 months pregnant. Hold on to that information. The whole interrupting thing had died down, but whenever we were at family events, she would still give me these snide looks. Fast forwarding to 1 month before the wedding, and I'm more pregnant than the sauce, Emma pulls me aside and says, I don't want anyone even thinking you're pregnant at my wedding. Don't wear anything where we could see how pregnant you are. She's 9 months pregnant. How's that going to work out? She going to wear a box?
She gonna wear a cardboard box to your wedding? Because what? But also, and why?
There's other pregnant people at your wedding.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be another one there. Like, that just kind of exists.
She has to wear the box too?
Yeah, like, she's supposed to just hold off her pregnancy just until your wedding happens, and then after then she can have a baby? No, not how it works.
I don't know how many of you have seen a pregnant woman in their last weeks of pregnancy, but it's quite difficult to cover. Very difficult, in fact, but little did we all know she wouldn't even have to worry about that. Ha ha. 2 weeks before the wedding, I went into labor for over 13 hours, but it was all worth it to give birth to the most beautiful baby boy I could ever wish for. My husband told mine and his parents I was in labor and the child would be arriving soon, and they spread this info with the rest of the family. After grueling hours of labor and some well-needed rest, our families came to visit the three of us in the hospital. All except Jake and Emma. My husband gets a phone call after the family leaves. It's from Jake saying how much we love taking Emma's spotlight and making everything about us 2 weeks before the wedding because I can totally control when I give birth. Was she supposed to hold it in? Keep the baby in there? Oh my God. You're freaking stealing my thunder with your ugly baby. At this point, we're both upset and exhausted, and my husband calls and tells their parents about what Jake has just told them. And now they're mad too, but they were going to wait to talk to Jake and Emma till after the wedding. We all agreed this was a good idea. The day of the wedding comes, and no one has to worry about my pregnancy showing because I already had our son. For those who might ask, the baby was with my parents for the couple hours we were gone. Anyway, we walked into the church where the ceremony was being held, and the tension was thick. You could cut it with a knife. I guess my in-laws told some other family members what had transpired as well, but nonetheless, the ceremony goes well, and we make our way to the reception. We walked into the reception, and we're sitting next to my other brother-in-law and his wife, who's absolutely lovely and helped me so much with baby things. When crap hit the fan. A relative walked over to our table as while Emma and Jake were still near our table. She greeted them first and talked with them before turning around and asking us how the baby was doing. Emma's face went from all smiles to angry, and she stormed off over to where her mother and bridesmaids were. Jake turns around and says very loudly, "Can you guys shut up about your ugly freaking baby and stop taking Emma's spotlight?" You know, Emma and Jake suck, but I will say, Jake matches Emma's freak.
Maybe they're perfect for each other.
They're perfect for each other because they suck.
Yeah, not great people to be around, but they can be around each other.
Went silent. It felt like the DJ even stopped for a second out of pure shock.
You hear like the record scratch and the band stops playing like in cartoons and stuff.
But I think I just tuned him out. My other brother-in-law and his wife's mouths were open. I didn't even know what to do, but I was mad. My husband finished the rest of his wine and we left immediately. I'm imagining this is, "Stop talking about your ugly baby." Silence. And then the brother or Opie's husband goes, and then they leave.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Record scratch, something falls because the waiter is like, yeah. And then everyone's silent. And then he just like how you said it, chugs it.
This all took place before the first dance. A few minutes after we walked out and made our way to the car, my other brother-in-law and his wife came following behind us with my mother-in-law. They were also planning to leave, and she was still trying to figure out what the actual F was going on. At this point, I'm done and fed up with this crap, and I just wanted to go home. Apparently after this, my in-laws threatened to leave as well because apparently they were being even crazier. By the way, you can be crazy with us by joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap our profile. There's a little bit left, but what say you?
I say the crazy.
I say the crazy too.
Like, you're going to talk about
It's just, ow, I bit my tongue.
Oh no.
It's gonna come up. When someone's got a baby, it's gotta come up.
Exactly, because when you're having conversations with anyone in general, even especially at a wedding, like you're gonna talk about your life.
Yeah.
And a baby is a pretty big deal in your life. So of course, when you just had a baby, you're going to talk about that, and that's okay.
Your wedding is like, it's still about you. You were hardly there for the conversation.
Right.
Just get over it. Go talk to someone else if you don't want to talk about the baby.
No one's life is going to stop from just because your wedding is happening. Like your wedding is not the topic of the year.
No, you're not going in Variety magazine.
Some people have babies, and that's cool too.
There's a little bit left.
All right, let's see it.
Because one of Emma's bridesmaids got engaged and she didn't want her to wear her engagement ring because she wanted to be in the spotlight. Apparently her fiance was talking to some other guest and mentioned their engagement and she flipped out. No one can do anything.
It's not just her. See, there's other things, girl. There's other things in people's lives.
It was a crap show of a wedding and many others left early because of their antics. I don't really know how to end this post. A lot of people are still mad at them for this and they've isolated themselves from the family largely. Apparently they're still mad at us for walking out and Emma said we should have acted like adults. That's funny. Maybe you should take your own advice. And stuck around instead of causing a scene. I don't think they started the scene though. Whatever, I guess we'll see around the holidays, but for right now, I have my son to take care of and not worry about the drama anymore. But I thought you guys might want to hear this very interesting story. And that is the end of that. Man, oh man, what a tale.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, just like maybe low contact with these people. They kind of suck.
I was gonna say something I'm forgetting.
Is it about them sucking?
Yes, it was. I was just thinking like, they're really just thinking like all press is good press, you know, like they're like, I want all the attention.
It doesn't matter if it's bad attention.
Yeah, I'm going to get it by telling other people that they're taking my attention because I'm screaming at them. Now I have the attention back.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we're good now. I've got the attention.
And it's like, okay, great. So no one likes you anymore.
Everyone freaking hates you.
No one wants to be here.
But you've got their attention.
Yeah.
That is the end of that story. So we'll see you next time.
My sister-in-law made my wedding all about her because she felt left out.
I automatically take the sister-in-law's side.
I mean, it's about everyone else, not about you, right?
It is. It's the sister-in-law's day.
She has apologized since, but her behavior at my wedding had a significant impact on the end of the night, and I'm not sure an apology is really what would make things right. I don't know what could. By the way, this comes from Bella on our OK Storytime subreddit.
Caught me off guard. I was at my
Oh.
Bella.
Sister-in-law, 38 female, has been the largest source of stress for my husband and me during planning, but we have given her grace because she has never attended a fancy wedding before and only ever has had a courthouse wedding for herself. Past issues. I invited sister-in-law to my hair and makeup along with Mog, my twin, and myself. Her friend, 42 female, found out and asked me at a large family gathering to be included. And when I tried saying no, she whined. She begged, and I relented. I also agonized over providing sister-in-law a safe meal when she expressed fear about eating somewhere with her fish allergy almost a whole year after she told me fish was okay at my wedding. When she expressed fear about eating somewhere with her fish allergy almost a whole year after she told me fish was okay at my wedding, she still forgot to tell the servers that she needed the safe dish that I had specially made for her. So it was my husband who realized and stopped her before she started eating her standard plate. Sister-in-law has been between gainful employment for several years and wasn't going to be able to afford a dress for the wedding. Neither was her best friend. I bought both of their dresses when I realized at the checkout counter that neither had money and they were expecting me to pay because I offered to go look at dresses with them. They couldn't afford to get their dresses altered and I put my foot down on paying for that. Or at least OP has a line that is not crossed. I sent links for how to tape/hand sew a hem, but they are very wary of DIYing anything, and so they did nothing after trying them on Sister-in-law didn't even fold or put hers on a hanger. They showed up to the venue with their dresses extremely wrinkled and needed pinning just to be wearable. So, as I'm rushing around with 30 minutes to spare in my very full gown, pinning boutonnieres and preparing to walk down the aisle, they pull me into the bathroom to tell me they need help getting ready. My oldest sister was there to step in and help, and I kindly told them I was busy. Also important, our wedding was very simple. No groomsmen, no bridesmaids. My twin sister got a speech. My husband's brother got a speech. We were open to requests if someone felt strongly, but we weren't offering, and nobody asked. Quick, easy, in and out. I should have investigated why my sister-in-law and her friend spent the whole night sitting at their table rather than dancing and mingling. When I was doing my post-dinner hugs and rounds, I stopped by their table multiple times for chats and photos, and nothing seemed to miss at the times. About 45 minutes before the end, our limo, a hearse.
This is like a goth wedding.
God, dude, I with it. Kind of sick.
I would definitely go to a goth wedding.
Yeah. Arrived, so my husband stepped out to coordinate with the driver and photographers about our send-off happening in 30-ish minutes. I was pulled out for photos, and we came back in to enjoy the last 20 minutes of dancing before our private last dance. We learned from our DJ afterward that while we were gone, sister-in-law had gone to her and asked for a sister-brother dance. But of course, we were both outside, so she couldn't make that happen. So little time left in the night. When we came back in to continue dancing, sister-in-law pulled us off the dance floor nearly in tears and asked for photos with her and her brother. In tears. Pulled off the dance floor during the groom dance thing.
How dare they?
The groom bride dance
Is nothing
thing.
sacred?
Obviously not. Since she was sitting down the whole night, the only photos she likely got were family portraits in a group setting or candids from when I was standing over them. My husband was extremely busy and wasn't mingling as much as I was. When my husband checked in with her and asked how she was feeling, she broke down and walked off without taking the photo she wanted. My husband followed after her, and she spent the next 15 minutes talking with her outside. Her friend came to me to explain her emotion. They'd apparently been talking all night about how she felt left out because I didn't include her in any planning for the wedding. I didn't make her a bridesmaid. She didn't get a speech, and she didn't get a dance with her little brother. I stood there, blinking in disbelief as she told me this. She continued by apologizing and saying she is saying this from a place of love and that sister-in-law just feels very hurt right now. I finally found my spine after all of this to say, okay, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my wedding now. That's
Just
it.
like, cool. Message received. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my
gonna go.
wedding.
I'm going to go.
Cool. Yeah.
And I went back out to dance with a small crowd of friends who were truly delighted to be there with me with zero expectations or resentment, and I forgot about the drama immediately.
Let's go, good friends.
Let's
go.
My husband missed the rest of the dancing, but returned just in time for the private last dance. What was supposed to be a quiet few minutes of smiles and kisses and cuddles was entirely spent with him frowning intense and lamenting the frustration of what happened.
Oh, come on.
And if you're frustrated and don't want to be frustrated anymore,
For
you
real.
can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile
All it takes is one.
and just have your frustration melt away.
Melted.
There's another relevant update, but let's discuss. What do you think about all of this
I think
drama
it really
that's
sucks that
happening?
the husband couldn't come back and just be like at neutral for that.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, OP's response of like, I'm going to go enjoy my wedding right now, like heard, I'm going to enjoy my wedding right now is like probably the classiest thing that you could do. And also the thing that preserves the integrity of this wedding experience. When we got home at the end of the night, we reflected on everything, and I asked for a redo. We put our song on and started dancing, and I broke down. The memories of standing on the dance floor, asking my husband to be present and forget about everything while he frowned and kept his eyes closed. That was all I could think about when I heard our song play. I know it won't be like that forever, but it sucks. I don't feel bad for any of the decisions I made. I did more for my sister-in-law than I did for any of my other siblings except for my twin, who was active and present and reliable and drama-free. I don't feel bad for not including my sister-in-law in planning. My partner and I chose vendors we love, designed what we wanted, and got the wedding we dreamed of. I could write a book of grievances. I wonder if I should let things be or finally speak my truth to her. And that is where that story ends.
I think at the end of the day, you got what you wanted. You got the wedding, right?
Yeah, but
everything kind of worked out a little bit, except with a couple of.
But the dance with her husband got ruined because of the husband's sister.
Yeah.
Like, they tried to recreate the dance, and like all she could remember was her husband's frowning face. And it's like the sister-in-law kind of ruined one of the best parts of the wedding.
That does actually sound like pretty much the core memory of.
That's the core memory. What else
wedding.
are you gonna like the rest of the stuff is like, oh, do you take this person to be your lawfully wedded wife? Pfft, who cares?
It's like, duh. Yeah,
of
that's why
course
we're
I
here,
do.
idiot.
Stop asking
Hey, can
stupid
we speed
questions.
this up? What are you asking me? What, do I like this guy? Yeah, I guess. Duh. That's why I'm getting married to him.
But that dance.
I would say this. I would say if, whether or not you bring this up to the sister-in-law, really just depends on what kind of relationship you want to have with her.
Yeah, if you want to, I feel like if you don't bring this up, there might be like a grudge that forms,
Yeah, and it's like if you don't really want to maintain a close relationship with someone like that, then, feel free not to. But if you want to kind of, have the mesh of the family a little tighter, then you should bring it up to her and be like, that made me feel like this. Remember how you felt like that? You feeling like that made me feel like this. Now you respond.
My father-in-law misbehaved at his granddaughter's game, so we called him out. You're out of there! Strike 3!
Hey!
Hit the showers!
You over there! Got it!
This is a long one, and the fallout is ongoing. The nuclear winter may be in the forecast. I have to share, and I have to vent. My 46 male septuagenarian father-in-law loves going to our kids' athletic events. Football, soccer, baseball, softball, everything. The kids are great athletes, and the games are a lot of fun. And by the way, this comes from user Dookie Shoe on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, father-in-law fits the stereotypical boomer profile. He's white, Catholic, and Republicans are good and Democrats are bad. Blah, blah, blah. Fox News talking points are gospel, and nothing that runs contrary to his beliefs has any merit, no matter how practical or logical. We live a few blocks from he and mother-in-law. We see them regularly, and my mother-in-law is my wife's, who is 40, best girlfriend. Mother-in-law comes over to the house several times a week. Rare is a day these two women don't speak at least once. They have a great relationship. I get frustrated with father-in-law, even as a guy that doesn't get upset about politics, but I love and support wife, and it's important to her that we have a good relationship with her mom and dad. Wife and I say to each other, man, he can be a ding-a-ling sometimes, but we want him in our lives and in our children's lives. We have our own flaws and understand that family can be frustrating, and that door swings both ways.
Love that.
Look at that. That was pretty intelligent. I was thinking like, ooh, is this going to be bashing? Is this just going to be a bash session? But that seemed pretty thoughtful.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, we also are not perfect.
No one's perfect.
More people should have that opinion of themselves. In the past, we have had issues with father-in-law being overbearing at athletic events. He believes he's being supportive, but he's tone deaf as to how he sounds. He's very critical when offering quote unquote helpful coaching tips at games. This past fall, in the middle of the season, our daughter 9 asked if we could tell father-in-law to not come to soccer games because his coaching from the sidelines is very loud and grating, was making her uncomfortable. She didn't want to hurt his feelings and wanted us to send the message. When my wife mentioned it to her mom, who then passed it along to father-in-law, and his response through mother-in-law was that our daughter, quote, would never ask him not to come to games. Well, she did. He seemed to accept that he needs to be more aware of how he comes across to the other players and parents. He sulked for a few weeks, but then got over it and was granted permission to come to games again after a brief talk about being less of a spectacle. No apologies, no promises to reform, just a harumph and a sure. So here it comes. Basketball season gets going, and my daughter's team plays well and makes it to the playoffs. We are all in the gym for a playoff game a few weeks ago, and not even a full quarter into the game, father-in-law is quote unquote educating a mother from the opposing team on the rules of the game. It's abrasive, not informative. It's, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, what? Have you ever heard of travel in your life? Don't you know you can't take more than 3 steps? So gather, step, step, step. You're done.
You do realize this is also just like not a professional game.
You realize this is youth athletics?
There's always that one guy, and this is that one guy.
The stakes are literally almost as low as possible.
Everyone gets a trophy.
I mean, you know, the 9-year-old league playoffs, pretty serious.
This is going to be his make or break to the NBA.
So he knows that he's being argumentative, and he's happy to prove to anyone in earshot about how right he is. Things get to the point where the mother is moving seats to put some distance between her and father-in-law. I tap my wife to take her attention away from our daughter playing, to let her know that there's a situation. She's sitting on the other side of our group, and the noise in the gym is masking the increasing volume of the interaction. Why did I bring it to my wife's attention instead of addressing it myself? Because I have had interactions with father-in-law about this and other subjects, and my first inclination would be to tell him to STFU at a volume and tone that would startle adults. As that would not be the best approach to diffuse the situation, my thought was that his grown adult daughter may have more success. We're looking to put water on the brush fire, not napalm. Oh, that's topical. She walks where he is and politely asks him to let it go, and then comes back to sit. A few moments later, not even a full minute, father-in-law is back to educating, quote unquote, the other mother.
Oh my God, he's mansplaining.
Okay, just shut up, dude. Honestly,
Just shut
it's
up.
the 9-year-olds are playing. Watch your granddaughter.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the granddaughter's like, why is grandpa? Oh, that's not my
you're
grandpa.
impacting her play, granddad. Anyway, so wife gets up and asks him again, more sternly, to knock it off, and then returns to her seat. Parents from both teams are looking over to see what the commotion is, and it's clear to everyone what's happening. Less than a minute later, he's back at it. Wife goes over again and tells him to stop talking. Father-in-law says, "No, I will not."
Now you're the entertainment for everyone.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're both fools.
I think now is the time you go, yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah, you're ruining. This is going to be, I hope you realize this is actually going to be a traumatic experience for anyone who's related to not just the father-in-law or the granddad, but also the mom. Whoever's mom that is, you're just making a scene, and you're just embarrassing your children and your family now.
Yeah. So for some reason, this rocked me for 2 reasons. 1, I had never heard him speak to his daughter like that. And 2, I was floored by the lack of respect for his daughter and mother to 5 of his grandchildren. Maybe I had been blind to it before, but it was so clear that he would walk over her if his ego was threatened. I was equally enraged and sad. I had had enough. I lean over, make eye contact with him, and loud enough to be heard over the basketball game, I say, "Shut your mouth." I'm surprised the F word didn't make it in there. He stops talking, doesn't say a word for the rest of the game. And when the game is over, he leaves without a goodbye or congratulations to my daughter for the win. Wife and I know there's going to be blowback and that I'm going to be the bad guy in father-in-law's narrative. I'm okay with that. I can be the a-hole in this fictional story. My ego will survive. Wife and I know what happened, and I want father-in-law to know that I'll stand up to anyone that disrespects his daughter, even him. What I'm not okay with is father-in-law's treatment of his daughter. I suggest to wife that if father-in-law is ever to come to another game, 3 things need to happen. Number 1, father-in-law apologizes to her. Number 2, father-in-law will behave at all functions. And number 3, father-in-law agrees that if anyone ever asks him to stop, he will do so immediately. Strangers, coaches, or referees. The next day, my wife gets a call from mother-in-law to announce father-in-law's decision on what our quote-unquote punishment will be. He will not come to our house if I'm there, no events where I am present, and he will not be attending Easter Sunday brunch with us.
Boo-hoo. You got put in your place, old man.
Yeah, it honestly... How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?
It's just like, come on. And now his ego's so bruised. He's like, no, I'm the bigger man. I'm not going to do that. That's their punishment.
Yeah, the pathetic thing is he's not even considering his own granddaughter or any of his grandchildren in any of this.
He's a very self-centered guy.
Yeah. He's just like, this is so stupid. Why are you making me not talk? Because I'm right about the travel rule. It's like, it's not about that, granddad.
It doesn't matter.
It's because you're being a freaking issue at the 9-year-old's basketball playoff game. You don't need to be an issue there.
For everyone. Yeah, I guarantee he hasn't even said congratulations to the granddaughter.
Did not. Exactly. He just walked out. Crazy. So my thought to these punishments were, wow, you're really going to back yourself into a corner here, aren't you? Okay, let's see how you play poker with no chips. Wife tells father-in-law through mother-in-law, because apparently we're children and have to play telephone, that he will not be allowed to attend softball or baseball games if he maintains his position. We haven't had any direct interaction with him in a few weeks, but wife and mother-in-law talk daily. Mother-in-law is saying that father-in-law is her husband and she has to support him. Wife explains that one can support their spouse without supporting every thought, feeling, or action they have. Mother-in-law is in a bad spot because father-in-law is essentially pushing her to take his side for acting like a butthole. Otherwise, she is not a supportive spouse. Very childlike behavior from a senior citizen. Over the past weekend, I was traveling and get a call from my wife. The Cold War has gone hot. Mother-in-law called to ask what time our granddaughter's softball games will be this weekend. Wife tells her the times and reminds her that she is welcome, but father-in-law is not. Mother-in-law says, that's silly. It's been long enough. Wife says, these are literally the first games this season. He has not missed any athletic events. There have been no consequences for him yet. No, he is not invited. And this is where things get dark. Mother-in-law ups the ante and asks if wife is planning to be at the games. Wife says that she will be, and mother-in-law says, then I don't want to go. Your father is wrong for not respecting you, but you need to respect him. I don't want to be around you if you can't respect your father. So now this is just like a extra stupid, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
And guess what? They're one entity. It's just like whatever he says or whatever she says, I follow or I'll do.
Bad. This is all bad.
He may be out of line, but he's correct. Like, respect your father.
No, come on, man. So my heart hurt when I heard this. Wife loves her mother and they are close friends. Father-in-law is making mother-in-law stand behind his misbehavior and causing a rift between mother-in-law and wife. And by the way, you can get your mother-in-law and your wife and whoever else.
Your granddaughter.
Your granddaughter.
Maybe she's too young.
Your in-laws, your nephews, your nieces. You can all listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and search OK Storytime. There you go.
Very easy.
So I think we've kind of hit this a little bit, but it's like, what is the path forward here? Like, do we try to reconcile with the mother-in-law at least? Or do we just play the long game?
I think we're going to play the long game of like, all right, you're going to miss a couple games and there's got to be a punishment. A punishment must be served of how he acted. And you think you can get off scot-free? You didn't even get punished. There was no time.
Right.
You missed you didn't miss anything. So I think there needs to be a little bit of a punishment. If that's good, the consequence, fine. But, get off your high horse.
Yeah. I think maybe something written out, maybe if you want to give it to the mother-in-law, because it's like sometimes in conversation it's like things can get really heated and people can get their feelings hurt and stuff.
If a contract comes into it, they're gonna scoff.
No, not a contract, but more just like a letter, just being like, hey, so I feel really bad that now you're excluding yourself just because you feel like you need to back up my dad, who was completely in the wrong, yelling at strangers at a 9-year-old's basketball game.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's upset is because he got told he got put in his place.
Yeah, and he could like, I don't have a place. I'm above everything.
Right.
I'm right. You're wrong.
You can feel however you want to feel about me and dad not getting along, but for God's sake, don't have our relationship get messed up because of this. So let's see how this goes. Wife says that she's hurt by mother-in-law, but if she wants to hurt feelings, then wife will play along. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Wife says there will be no contact with our families. Mother-in-law says, you're not going to keep the grandchildren from us, are you? Wife says, yes. And that's where things stand as of today. I am not sure how this will play out, but I believe father-in-law is about to learn how truly feckless he is. Ooh, and that's the end of the story. I think we figured out the best one, which is that you got to have the family's powwow. Family sit down. Everyone sits down.
I think there does need to be a time of just separation, have some low contact, give it maybe half the season, just because let things simmer a little bit, let things settle down, and then go into it. Or hey, your granddaughter wants you to come to the games, or your grandchildren want to see you. But there is we need to hash things out. If things can't be hashed out, then you're not coming to these games.
I don't know if I agree on the wait. I think you need to get in front of this. Well, I think the longer you wait, the messier this gets.
I would say just give it a couple games at least, or something like that, because this is very fresh off the stove, especially with mother-in-law getting into this. You're like, okay, this is very, very fresh. Give it some time. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of time, just to let it like cool down, just a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose. But definitely don't linger. Don't make it like a 6 months go by and then it's like, all right, let's fix this. It's like, need to fix this in like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Like
Because,
a month.
for kids.
Like,
Guess what? Games happen every week.
Yeah.
Games happen every week. So
but that is the end of that story.
My mother-in-law's behavior is unbearable. I want to remove her from our lives.
Rawr, I'm just kidding. Remove the bear.
2021. My husband and I got engaged and planned our wedding 5 months later. We wanted to get married fast because he was married before and has 3 children from his previous marriage. By the way, this comes from Chef OK 9335, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, to be honest, he's not getting any younger. I wanted a baby as soon as we got married. This might be TMI, but it is important later. My husband had a vasectomy after his 3rd child was born. We saved up money to have it reversed and planned for it to be done after the wedding so we could try for a baby.
The good old snip snap.
Unsnip the snap. Okay, back to the wedding. My husband's mother came to visit for the wedding. She lives in a different state, so this was the first time I had ever met her. The entire time she was here, she kept calling me my husband's ex's name, including on my wedding day. Bye.
Bye. That's why you should meet the first.
I told my husband he needed to say something because it was getting ridiculous. He finally did, and she, of course, started crying and making a big deal about it. I get that sometimes people misspeak and stuff, but this was a daily thing. My husband and I have been dating for years, and he and his ex had been separated for years. It is not like it was new. 2022, my husband had the reversal early on in the year, so we were trying for a baby. We made a trip to visit my husband's family. They all live in the same state as mother-in-law. We stayed with mother-in-law. Big mistake. While being there, she again called me by my husband's ex's name.
Uh-oh.
Not only that, but I saw she had pictures of my husband with his ex-wife in frame pictures on the wall. I have sent her plenty of pictures of me and my husband, including wedding pictures, but none of those were anywhere to be seen. Yikes. After we left, we were on our way back home. Mother-in-law called my husband claiming she was now missing stuff from her house and had the nerve to accuse the kids of stealing her stuff. She brought this up for months, saying, I know your kids took this and that, which I know for a fact they did not, because I was the one who unpacked their suitcases when we got home. Shortly after that, I found out I was pregnant, and we made the mistake, stop making all these mistakes, man, of telling mother-in-law before I told my parents.
Oh,
That's
I see
a
you.
rookie mistake, honestly.
Why would you tell the one person
Yeah,
that
it's
is
like-
like not necessarily bullying you, but is definitely not with you on things?
Yeah. And what did she do? She posted it on Facebook,
Yep.
tagging both mine and my husband's names.
Wow.
I was beyond mad and made her remove the post immediately, telling her I was not ready for it to be on Facebook. 2023. Sometime in the winter before I had my baby, mother-in-law randomly contacts my husband and says, Didn't you have a vasectomy? How is it possible for your wife to be pregnant with your child? Girl, is she implying something? Is she not using her brain and then using her mouth to imply something?
Also, that's none of your concern
Shut-
to be asking that.
Boop.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This was a long conversation between them, with her pretty much trying to convince my husband I cheated on him. In the springtime, my husband's grandmother unfortunately passed away. I was unable to fly down for the funeral because I was 8 months pregnant, but my husband went down. The grandmother was mother-in-law's mother. When they were still in the hospital, maybe an hour after she passed, mother-in-law started talking about the will and asked who was going to help her clean out her grandmother's house. The next morning, she had already obtained the will and was at the house taking an inventory, contacting family members claiming they stole things, and saying she needed anything that the grandmother had ever given them back. At the funeral, literally at the cemetery, she was chasing family members down, demanding dumb things like silverware sets back that she knew they stole from grandmother. This whole thing could be a story on its own, but moving on. In the summer, I had my baby. My husband again made the mistake of telling his mom that the baby was born, and what is the first thing she does? That's right, she posted it on Facebook, even after my husband told her not to. I do not understand why she has to share all of my news on Facebook.
I don't understand you guys telling her as like the
Dude,
first person.
If you
Tell her last.
I'm going to be less sympathetic next time if you tell me, oh, we made a mistake
Wait,
of telling
if
her.
if I see another mistake that you
I'm
told
going
her
to be
something,
less sympathetic
we both are.
because you've
I get
passed
it.
3 times.
I get it. You're excited.
Yeah.
And the first thought is, let's tell the one person that is causing so much drama.
But I think from now on, hopefully, you would have realized, oh, if we tell her something, she's going to post on Facebook. So let's wait until we're ready for this to be posted on Facebook.
Or tell everybody else and tell her last. Literally.
2024, I found out she is trying to sue my husband's aunt and her sister over something dumb with the grandmother's house. Anyhow, she's full of drama and always has something bad to say about everyone, and I'm just done dealing with her. And there are some comments. Comment 1 says, you don't mention a thing about how your husband has handled her BS in the past. So you can try to cut her out, but if your husband isn't also going to, or is the type that always eventually caves to her when she whines, all that's going to happen is you think you're done with her, but she keeps on disrupting your life. Opie replied, I guess I should have added my husband already has almost zero contact with her. She reaches out to me randomly for information because my husband doesn't answer when she calls because she's always trying to start drama. I forgot to mention another huge thing she did, so I need to update the post. Reply, so follow your husband's lead
Thank
and
you.
don't answer her.
Thank you.
Block her if you want, not your circus, not your monkeys.
Thank you.
Update. Some things I forgot to add. First off, when she called me the ex's name, it was always conveniently when my husband was not around because she's doing it on purpose. So he did not correct her because he did not know until I said something. As soon as I said something, he spoke to her. My husband does not speak to her. If she calls, he ignores her calls because it always is to start drama. No, her issue is not just with me, but I get tired of the drama. She would call just to make up stuff about her sisters and try to drag my husband into her drama. He would tell her he doesn't care and hang up. So now she tries to reach out to me randomly, but it's usually something stupid like, I mailed the kids Christmas gifts. 2 years later, and I'm still waiting on those. And a huge thing I forgot to add, sometime in 2022, after we visited them, her youngest daughter, she has 7 kids, finally decided to take a DNA test because there has always been a thought that she was not the child of, let's call him Ken, who is my husband's stepdad. And guess what? She was right. Everyone suspected that her real dad was the neighbor. Ooh, yikes. Let's call him Jim. I should add, she's almost 30. She's asked her mom before if she had a different dad, and mother-in-law always said that was crazy and why would she ever think that? So she did the DNA test and found out that she is Jim's daughter, not Ken's.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's not bueno.
Yeah, that's you're 30 years old and you're finding out like, oh, the dad that I thought was my dad the whole time is not my dad and it's my neighbor.
Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, he's still your dad.
Still your dad.
He took the father figure.
When she confronted mother-in-law with the proof, mother-in-law spent 2 hours. The whole thing was recorded, lying and saying Ken and I weren't even together then, which they were married when she got pregnant.
Dude.
How are you going to lie about this?
That's crazy.
Then it was, are you sure? I want to do a DNA test of my own. And then, well, I was, then Ken knew about it. It was a whole thing. And for some reason, she blamed my husband for the reason his sister did a DNA test in the first place. We had nothing to do with that. But you can have everything to do with us if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Focus Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this. Honestly, I think you need to follow your husband's lead and go no contact.
Very easy.
Like, why do you even have contact if he doesn't?
She's like King Midas, but like
everything
it's drama.
Everything she touches turns to drama.
Yeah, that's very easy. You have no reason to be in contact with her.
Bye.
She's very rude to you, and it seems like everybody else.
Yeah, no one likes her. I would still say, like, limit contact if your husband had contact, but your husband doesn't even have contact.
Even your husband's like, no, I don't want to deal with her.
So just don't.
Which is very odd. Like, you would have given the advice of, she messaged you, why are you talking to her?
Yeah, I feel like he would be like, yeah, don't talk to her.
Don't talk to her.
But there's a little bit left. Also, another reason I want to go no contact is because she's bringing up crazy stuff in front of the kids all the time, like her issues with her sisters. She has no filter. I try to tell her the kids do not care about this. Can we talk about something else? But it always comes back to it. And she will talk badly about everyone that isn't in the house at the moment. The kids think she is ridiculous. She also texted my husband like 6 months after we left her house to say that the kids said stuff to her that I know was a complete lie. And that also makes me not want to allow the kids around her. Then don't. She accuses them of stealing and then makes up lies about them, almost like she's hoping we will get them in trouble or something. And comments to finish this story off. Comment 1, how did she get the will so fast? She must have had it at her house the whole time. And that's the grandmother's will, right? That they're talking about?
Yes, the grandmother that passed away.
Just don't ever go and see her and don't talk to her. Tell your husband not to tell her anything about you or the baby. She sounds like she lives for the drama. Reply, I have a copy of my parents' will because I was named the estate representative. So after they were both gone, I only had to grab my copy to start all the legal crap that goes with being the representative. No. I imagine mother-in-law had a copy or her mother told her what was in it. She sounds like a first-class drama queen, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with her. Opie says, I honestly don't know, but Grandma did not want mother-in-law to have anything to do with the will.
Oh, no.
But somehow she ended up getting everything. The family has videos of Grandma saying she needed to get mother-in-law off the will and that nothing should go with her. And that should
follow
that
suit.
If they have videos of her, That should
But does she-
absolutely be enough.
If they have videos, I don't know how it works. I think the grandmother needed to sign something.
She did, but I think that you can also have a video testament.
Those are
It
yeah.
depends on what preceded.
Yes,
But,
those are those. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah.
It also was upsetting that she got everything, including the house, but did not spend a dime on the funeral and headstone, and all the grandkids chipped in to cover the costs.
Shocked.
Shocking.
Yeah.
She only cares about herself.
And she just
Yeah.
likes to make everyone else feel bad.
That is the end of that story, but don't just go no contact.
At this
Go
point,
very low contact.
I mean, yeah, at this point, it seems like nothing's going to change her
Yeah.
attitude, her mindset. Even when she's proven wrong,
Yeah.
she will flip it and put it onto somebody else. There's no reason to just put up with that mindset, that energy. It's all negative.
Exhausting.
Very exhausting. And if you go even towards it, she's going to make it all dramatic.
But that is the end of that story. My sister-in-law married a loser. It's negatively impacting my everyday life. I can normally look at situations pretty objectively and come up with solutions. However, this problem, I feel, is one that I am too close to be able to solve. Any help on this is appreciated. By the way, this comes from Tenebrus1. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, preface. I have been married to my wife, 30 female, for 6 years, but have been together for 11. During this time, I of course have been pretty close with her family, including her sister Lori. Lori has always had health problems from birth. She has had multiple heart surgeries and even as of a few months ago, is now on the transplant list to receive a new one. Wow. Roughly 3 years ago, Lori married Scott, and in that time, they built a home on the family homestead, if you will, which is roughly 100 yards away from where my wife and I built our home. Scott is the biggest piece of crap and most selfish human being I have ever had the displeasure to come across. He is very lazy, overweight, and in all honesty, a very stupid person. He once tried to cash a publisher's clearinghouse check that was sent in the mail to him. The problem: Lori, up until the last year or so, has been able to work. She has had her master's in nursing and supported herself and Scott. Scott works part-time at a hardware store and plays golf, and that's about it. The issue now is that since Lori isn't working, is on disability now, they are always out of money. This means constantly asking my wife to take her places. She doesn't have enough to cover gas for her car. Wow. And when they go out, to pay her way for things that they do, dinners, etc. The money that my wife gives her is pretty small on a monthly basis, and I'm fine with helping family going through a hard time. The difficult part is the time that Lori takes away from my wife. Since Lori is ill and constantly in and out of the hospital, my wife has taken over helping run the household. She will clean their house, do laundry, and help pay their bills on time. Doing all of these things, of course, takes away time that I have to spend with my wife, and consequently, it can leave our home dirtier than Lori's. Since my wife is a stay-at-home mom, I feel that this is unacceptable. I have expressed this to her, she agrees, but nothing changes. This, of course, impacts my children as well, as they don't enjoy spending so much time at Lori's house as well. Yes, the homes are close, but it still isn't fun for them. Of course, while my wife is running around, running 2 households, Scott is off golfing, because why the heck not? Just this week, Lori has been hospitalized, and he hasn't come to visit her once. However, he has been golfing 3 times this week. Lastly, all the running around causes my wife to be very understandably tired at the end of the day. I do at least half of our housework now, more if you consider I do all the outside stuff as well, even with working full time. And this, of course, has negatively impacted our spicy sleep life. The questions: how do I properly communicate to my wife that this can't continue? I have expressed this before, but at the end of the day, she says she can't turn her back on family. Is there anything I can do to shake into Lori's head that her husband is a leech just clinging to her for the free ride? That she needs to leave him as she would be better off without him? Is there anything else anyone feels I can do to help the situation? I know I'm not perfect, but it seems like this seriously impacts either my wife, children, or my life daily. And there is an edit, but do you have any thoughts before we get into it?
I'd be like, man, I used to have, like, just tell a story that's, like, literally their story, but, like, make it yours and see if it, like, clicks with them.
But also, I think that OP needs to kind of, I think that things need to change. But also, OP has to be really careful about how he words this, because even so far, he said that he went to his wife and was like, the house is pretty dirty. You can't be doing that. Like, you're supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. This is unacceptable. And I think that you have to have a little bit more understanding that it's not just she's paying for her sister, you know, and doing all of that for no reason. Her sister, you know, is ill, is sick, and needs a lot of, like, is being hospitalized. So clearly this is kind of, you know, the circumstances are a little bit different right now. So I feel like OP needs to be a little bit more understanding than it seems like he's being. But I also understand that he sees this woman being taken advantage of by Scott.
There's a lot of delicate layers to this souffle.
Yes, very delicate. And I think you just have to be very careful on how you word it with your wife. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their suggestions. I'm going to try and talk to my wife tonight. I'm going to use a lot of what people have posted here. Please, if there's any more suggestions, keep them coming. I want to hit this from as many sides as I can to improve the situation that will work best for everyone. And there are some comments. Comment 1 says, if I have a maid who not only cleaned my house but gave me money instead of making me pay her, I'd spend a lot of time napping and golfing too. He's got zero incentive to change, and the sister-in-law isn't going to see how bad things are when your wife is keeping it all together. The word enabler can hold a lot of weight and often make people realize they're not helping. Opie says, I have mentioned this exact thing to her, but I agree she's being a big-time enabler. I don't think I have called her that before, but that should get her to think. Mainly because she calls my mother an enabler, and here she is doing the same thing. And there is an update. Again, I don't think that's quite fair. I understand that she, in a technical sense, is allowing Scott to do nothing. But if she wasn't, then nothing would happen. Like, no one would help her sister, who is sick. But there is an update. So my last post was pretty popular to my surprise, honestly. And I didn't expect as many responses as I got. I did read all of the comments, yada, yada, yada. I thought a while how to best tackle this issue, but thought it best to take Reddit's advice and decided to speak with my wife using very specific language. Specifically, I made mention of her spreading herself so thin and how that made me feel, especially considering that this was impacting our children, even though they don't seem to have a real problem with it, that I did. I also told her how I felt we were supplementing Scott's bad decisions and that she was enabling them to continue on like this. I felt that she/we were being taken advantage of, and it made me angry. She didn't disagree with me on anything and did agree that things needed to change, but she really didn't know how to change things given that they had gone on for as long as they did. We together decided that she was to start off small, and she would rein in the amount of time she spends over there each week until she stopped altogether. So for the past few weeks, she was down to 2 days a week when it was almost every day. This has been going on, and it was going pretty well in my opinion. But of course, Scott happened.
Oh, Scott. Like Scott Disick from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Not familiar.
Scott always just comes in and ruins it.
This effer had the gall last week to ask my wife why she wasn't coming over to clean as much, and that their house was getting dirty, and that Lori was having a hard time keeping up with things. You're making your sick wife do this? Dude, you suck, man.
Dude, get Scott out of town.
Now, my wife doesn't do confrontation, so she shrugged him off, but told me about it later in the night. I went over to his house late and told him that what he said was very disrespectful, and that if he ever spoke to my wife that way again, I would the old one to him in his fat face.
I would put a freaking sock full of nickels right into his temple.
I do the old conquest on him.
I do the old conquest.
He immediately started to apologize, but by then I told him that my wife wouldn't be cleaning their house anymore and he needs to deal with his own crappy housekeeping habits now. Dang! I guess we just needed OP to come and set down the law. This, of course, caused my wife a lot of tears, but ultimately she understood. This was compounded by the fact that Lori decided to get yet another dog. Dude, why are you getting a dog when you're going through heart surgery? It's like the worst time to get a dog. Who's taking Scott? Certainly not taking care of this puppy.
Yeah, Scott would just let it roam free. He'd be like, yeah, I'm taking care of the dog. I'm letting it run amok in the neighborhood.
Lori and Scott have 3, but now 4 dogs, which they pretty much let crap and piss wherever they want. So my wife gave them our steam cleaner and sweeper. We needed new ones anyway, and said to have it because she was done. She later spoke with Lori and said that in the future, if she needs to recover from the hospital, she can just stay at our place. Since my wife stopped cleaning over there, Lori pretty much comes over every day and spends all day at our house, which I can't blame her. But more importantly and oddly, Lori has been helping out in our house and keeping an eye on the kids so my wife can actually get more done at our house and has more time to relax and go out and do things with the kids, which has helped her stress levels. I love this. That's great.
This is a right track types that we're on the left track. Now we're on the right track.
By the way, you can be on the right track too if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. So let's
just go ahead and
let's just finish her off.
Cannonball right in.
I know this situation is far from over. It won't be over until Scott's fat butt has a heart attack or Lori gets sense and leaves him. But for now, my wife is firmly on only cleaning our house. And although we are still covering some extras for Lori, we are done having anything we do benefit Scott any longer. My only question now, if anyone is reading this, how the heck do I make her see Scott as a loser? My wife has been trying to point more things out lately to her, but she still doesn't get it. I think she is slowly getting it.
I think you just got to really be like, your loser husband is out there being a loser. Do you see that?
Yeah. I mean,
I
think the
your
fact
husband's
that
a loser.
I think the fact that she's over at your house a lot. She's clearly not happy in, her home environment.
Like, I feel like people like low key, they know.
I think so.
They just know, and they're like, I'm not going to look at it.
I think most times people do know, and it's like, if I bring up any of these, problems, he's gonna leave, or they're gonna leave, and I don't want, I think a lot of times people put the person leaving as worse than continuing to deal.
Yeah. Nobody likes my sister-in-law, and she's taking it out on me.
Well, maybe you should be more likable. Did you think about that?
Ooh, probably not doing a lot of
probably
thinking,
not thinking
are
about
we?
that.
Ooh. I grew up pretty solidly middle class, and my husband, Jay, 48 male, grew up working poor. My father spent 20 years in the military and then 30 years with a union, and my mother was a stay-at-home mom. Neither attended college. It was very important to my parents that both my brother and I attended college. By the way, this comes from user Sister-in-Law Help. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my brother Mark, 48 male, ended up attending a service academy. So, no tuition. I ended up with enough scholarship money to make my own full ride at a private university. Okay, smarty pants. Our parents gifted us the money they would have put towards our tuition upon our respective graduations.
Nice.
My husband worked his butt off to get through undergrad, grad, and an MBA.
Wow.
All while working full-time and sometimes supporting family members. He and I are coming up on our 18th wedding anniversary this summer. He is an executive, and I worked at a nonprofit for 5 years before becoming a stay-at-home mom. My life revolves around our 4 children, though I still find plenty of time for volunteer work. We are incredibly lucky. We live a very charmed life, and we don't take it for granted, at least I hope. My husband has a large family. His mother, 66, Dee, one younger brother, Tim, 46, and sister, Lee, 45, live in the same area we do. And we see them the most frequently of his relatives. My parents and my brother and his family live near us as well. We are all very close and spend a lot of time together, including vacations. My parents are retired. My brother spent 20 years in the military and then went to a second well-paying career, and his wife, Jess, 45, also retired military, is a hospital administrator. Lee and her wife, Amy, 39, own a very successful salon day spa. Tim is a deputy sheriff. He is also a widower who remarried Emily, 44, 4 years ago. And navigating her feelings is what I need help with. Emily came into our lives suddenly. It had been about 10 months since Tim's wife had passed away, and she showed up at Lee's salon and said Tim sent her to get dolled up. A couple of weeks after that, Tim started bringing her to family events. I felt bad for Emily. No one liked her, and it was palpable. 5 weeks later, she announced she was pregnant at Tim's daughter's first communion in front of his deceased wife's parents. She told everyone she was on the pill and it must have failed, but no one really believed her. Tim married her 2 weeks later in Las Vegas. When they opened our gift, Tim flipped out with happiness and her face fell. She looked incredulous and said she thought we would get them a house.
Emily.
Ooh, I'm starting to see why nobody likes Emily. We had given them a trip to Hawaii for their honeymoon since Vegas was going to serve as their honeymoon too, and we thought this would be a nice treat. We would be taking care of our nieces and even offered to take Emily's children or hire childcare. My husband said, rather calmly, to his credit, that the trip could be used towards a down payment instead. She clicked her tongue and said, "Oh, what a nice gift. A mortgage and no honeymoon. Welcome to the family."
Jesus Christ.
She was positively
She wanted the
glaring at
honeymoon
me.
and the house. She's
Yes,
like,
sir.
wow, you can't even pay for a freaking $1 million home for me? That's so rude. I thought this was a welcoming family. It's not.
Before anyone could say anything else, my husband took my hand and we left. Later, when they got back from Hawaii, she apologized, saying that since we had bought townhomes for both of our parents, she assumed we'd gift them a house too, for our children, and, so they could all be near the family in a nice, safe, gated community. She has 5 children, and Tim has 3, and then they have 1 together. It's been a passive-aggressive spiral since then, and she seems to target me the most. Look, we have money. I have expensive bags and shoes, and all those are totally unnecessary, but fantastic things that wealthy housewives can collect. Every time it's a Chanel bag. Must be nice. But I'd rather my children have nice clothes.
Jeez.
Or she'll put her foot up next to my foot and say, $8,000 or $19.95. I can't tell the difference. Can you? And she'll laugh and laugh like it's an inside joke. By the way, I do not own $8,000 shoes. The other women in my family have the same or similar priced things. Mine seem to anger Emily the most. Hosting holidays and celebrations rotates between myself, Jess, and Lee. Thanksgiving is my holiday. For the past 4 years, she has done something to mess it up. Year 1, she accidentally broke a crystal punch bowl that had been a gift to my great-grandmother on her wedding day.
No, I would be so sad.
Dude, great-grandma's crystal punch bowl?
Oh, my God.
I'm going to crystal punch bowl your face.
Yeah, no, she would not be.
I was devastated, but I was a gracious hostess and actually believed it was an accident. Later, my cousin said the only way it could have broken that way was for someone to pick it up and drop it straight down. It was full of red drink and made a mess, ruining some linens too. Year 2, our powder room overflowed. She admitted she had done that as a fun family prank that had gone wrong. We always prank each other. We do not. How does a powder room overflow?
Well, I'm
Overflowing
assuming
with
it's
what?
The toilet. The toilet overflows.
Powder room is just a half bath. It's
Yeah.
a bathroom with no tub or shower.
So it's so the toilet.
Call that a
just-
bathroom.
That's a bathroom.
That's a
guys.
bathroom,
It's
dude.
a half bath. That's a small bathroom.
Powder room. Year 3, my gravy was so salty, it was inedible. I'm blaming it on her. She kept asking, "Oh, where is your giblet gravy? I just love your gravy."
I love that Opie's like, I don't have any proof, but my gravy. So
Yeah.
it was definitely her fault.
It's like, 3rd year, I ruined my own gravy.
Yeah, I ruined
and she
my own
just
gravy.
Let me have it. This past year was the worst. Amy pulled me aside and showed me a bottle of Epicac. She said she saw Emily pull it out of her purse, then pop it in real quick again when Amy walked in. Amy took it after Emily walked out. Yeah, I was so panicked she might have used it already, but it was sealed. Amy and I later decided not to say anything right then. What do you mean? This lady brought a bottle of Epicac to poison us all. For anyone who doesn't know what that is,
It's like when you vomit,
it's like
it makes you vomit.
like if you need it's like a medical thing kind of. It's
Yeah,
like
but
for
it
like
makes you
like if a
vomit.
kid like
Yeah.
eats something that they're not supposed to eat, or it's like
Yeah.
you need to make somebody throw up right now.
Yeah.
Later, Emily came out from where the coats and purses were, looking flush, and she kept looking at Amy and looking away. I told my husband later that night, and he was furious and called his brother. They had a terrible fight and have barely spoken since. Why did you not put them on blast? This woman needed to be
Yeah,
put
be like,
on
she has
blast.
Epicac. Look at that
Everyone
woman.
watch out. Your food might be tainted. Crazy over here brought a bottle of throw-up juice. I know this is so long, but there's one more thing that really puts this over the top. My brother and Jess host a Super Bowl Sunday party. They go all out. My brother not only invites our family, his friends, and coworkers, but also work friends of just about everyone in our family. That's a lot, dude. Emily decided she wanted to host the Super Bowl. So she sent out invites to everyone in the family. Everyone said they would be attending Jess and Mark's party. She sent out reminders stating that it was time for someone else to be allowed to host an event and that this year was their year to host the Super Bowl. This was the fair thing to do, and she expected everyone there with a snack at 3 p.m. BYOB. Needless to say, no one showed. About an hour into the game, Tim even showed up at my brother's to watch the game. I kept expecting angry calls and texts, yet heard nothing. The following Friday is when it all blew up. My children attend parochial school, and I am a room mom, so I attend mass on Fridays with them. What the heck is parochial
I think
school?
it says parochial school. Catholic school, says Chelbell.
Boo, that's boring. I wanted something more fun. While this is technically a public weekday mass, it is a church attached to a school. So all of the children are there. I was standing in the side aisle helping my class when she walks up, grabs my arm, and says, we need to talk. Everyone turned their heads as she didn't bother to keep her voice down. Luckily, we were near a side door, and we got outside before she blew up. She started screaming at me about how I ruined her life, how my jealousy of her kept her from becoming a part of the family, how I was just a pretty mean girl that never left my sorority, but sooner or later, my bootius maximus would fall and my face would rot.
Is she casting a curse on you?
Casting a power word, curse. She further said how she was sorry that her hot dogs and chips weren't good enough for me, and I just couldn't miss out on my Super Bowl porterhouse. It was then when one of our deacons walked out, and I wished I could have evaporated. How ridiculous. He told us they could hear us inside. I started to apologize, and she screamed, I don't effing care, Pete. I told her I was done and to not come to my children's school ever again. Our deacon was already pulling out his cell phone. He said to her to leave or he'd call the police.
Actually kind of crazy to call the person who's supposed to be there watching their kids a PDF file when you don't have any kids at that school.
She yelled at him. Her husband was the police, but she guessed he only cared about women who married walking wallets like I did.
My husband is the police, but I guess you only like rich husbands.
He started to laugh. I don't blame him. It was so absurd. I tried not to, but I giggled as well. I looked at her, shaking my head, and said, Emily. She slapped me across the face, spit at me, and walked away.
Dang.
I've never been so shocked.
Okay,
said-
but like, how did you say it? Were you like, Emily? And then she was like, no! Call the police. Call the popo.
I've never been so shocked. I've never been hit in my life. She left a bruise on my arm where she held onto it, and she also keyed my car all the way up. Everyone wanted to call the police, but I asked them not
Why?
to. Just please let us handle this family situation. I was so embarrassed. Girl, call the police.
Call the police. Oh my God, this is such a, I feel like this is a rich person thing. Like, oh, we cannot let this, leave the family. It must stay within the family. The police can't know.
His brother came over and apologized to us both profusely. He said he would pay for my car. I wouldn't hear any of it, though. OP, I swear to God, if you keep being a little angel baby, I'm going to throw this. My husband looked tempted. The whole family knows and has taken my side, which I think makes it worse. However, I am grateful for the sentiment. The whole parish knows. It was comforting Sunday to hear story after story of crazy in-laws, but I want to fix this. How do I fix this with her? And there are comments.
Dude,
how do I fix this with her?
You freaking don't fix this. She hit you. Call the police. She's crazy. You can't fix crazy.
I can fix her.
Concerned.
Comment number 1. How do I fix this with her? You can't.
Exactly.
And if I didn't know better, I'd swear we were related and Emily is our stepbrother's wife. You have to understand that the thing that is wrong here isn't something within your control because there isn't anything wrong with anyone or anything except Emily. She's broken, I guess. It's as good a word as any. Her behavior isn't just vindictive and jealousy fueled. There's a mental illness there. Mentally healthy adults don't oversalt gravy one year and bring syrup of ipecac the next. Mentally healthy adults don't launch violent confrontations in front of the church their nieces and nephews are attending class at. And they don't strike their sister-in-law. Mentally healthy adults don't key someone's car. They don't shatter heirloom punch bowls or deliberately stop toilets. Okay, maybe the last one if they're in college, but otherwise, no. She is mentally ill, and you and your family need to recognize that she is dangerous. There's nothing rational about this woman. She doesn't think like you or I do. She doesn't have the filter in place that says this far and no more, and she is escalating. The scary thing is even if Tim gets smart and divorces her, this won't end. Your family, and you in particular, it seems, have become the focus of a disturbing level of rage. She won't let that go. She especially won't let that go if Tim divorces her because of it. If anything, she'll escalate further. Your one mistake was in not filing a police report and seeking a restraining order. That's what needs to happen. You aren't dealing with someone who knows when to put on the brakes or who can be rationalized with, and you have to stop telling yourself that this is something your family can manage on their own. You can't. This is a woman who will continue to escalate, and further violence isn't a question of if, but when. Who will be her target? You, your husband, your children? Don't kid yourself into thinking, but she'd never do that. She was willing to put poison into your food that your children were going to consume. You are treating this situation far too cavalierly, as if it's just a minor family conflict. It is not. Emily is basic instinct levels of crazy, and the sooner you recognize that, the safer you will all be. You can't fix this with her. The only thing you can do is protect against her. No further contact at all. She cannot come to family events anymore. Your family can't pretend this is just a personality conflict. They need to treat her as if she's a danger because she is, and not invite her around. If she shows up anyway, she needs to be told to leave. If she resists, call the police. Stop treating her like she's just the run-of-the-mill, petty, jealous family member and start treating her like what she is, a mentally ill criminal. I promise you, you will regret it otherwise. This is an extremely serious situation, and she is a very real threat to your safety. And there's an update, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
From that comment.
I understand what they're saying on like she's a threat to their safety. It seems like, we already know that she is because she attacked OP. So I feel like saying that she can't come to any events anymore is pretty fair.
We have an update here. Let's see how far it escalates, shall we? Gonna try to keep this short and to the point. The other post was so long, and I actually edited out 3 stories that made the first part make sense, but it was very cathartic for me. Day started with a family meeting at my husband's office, his mom, brother, sister, and my brother. Tim, honestly, was relieved. He said he'd been ready to divorce her since the Thanksgiving incident, but he said he was so embarrassed for what he had gotten himself and his 3 girls into. His girls are 7, 9, and 12. My husband and his brother and my brother were on one end of the spectrum, and they wanted full prosecution. Amy and I were on the other. Let's just cut her out. Everyone else was in between. Finally, we decided we would file a police report and get restraining orders, get a few more cameras for the home. Tim would file for divorce and custody of their shared daughter, Diane. They would stay with us for a while, and then the plan was for all of them to move to a new home with Tim's mom. We all split up. My husband and I went to our attorney, then to our church, with plans to go to the police station after. When the administrator at our diocese found out that vandalism and harmful acts had taken place on church property and authorities had not been called, he was furious. So the authorities were called. Long story a bit shorter, report filed, temporary protective orders, long day, all good, but not so fast. Tim had gone home to get the girls' things and to arrange a personal leave. Emily was there. She knew something was up, and I guess it was pretty ugly. She said a lot of horrible things about Beth and Beth's children, apparently. She broke a lot of things and took off after saying he could have his divorce and get this whole crazy family. Seriously, I could laugh over this if it wasn't so heartbreaking. Tim went to pull the girls from school. When he got back, his German Shepherd was gone.
No! I'm filing her police. They should have freaking filed a police report way sooner.
My brother's wife had my children for the afternoon. My husband, brother, and I are just leaving our attorney for the second time, and we get a call from our community security that there has been some vandalization. My heart sank. We get home, and my bare root roses are torn up, and there is feces smeared all over our door? She should already be in police custody, dude. Honestly, this is crazy. I didn't go into what was keyed into my car, but she had keyed, see you next Tuesday, F-er you. Yes, F-er you. And then some slurs and what looked like a wiener. Now, I'm of Cuban heritage, so the word she was looking for was incorrect, but it was close enough to an insult. She wrote, see you next Tuesday, and all these other things in her feces on my porch. Oh my God. This is a woman who needs to go to a padded cell. I will say it was at this point I stopped worrying about her feelings. My brother Mark called 2 of his out-of-work vet buddies who are now employed as our security for the foreseeable future. Now we find out that from Tim that Jax, the dog, he is missing. Emily calls him and says she will unalive herself and Jax if he doesn't bring Diane to her. Don't you feel like the police, it would have been great to involve the police a little earlier?
Maybe we should have had the frickin'...
Maybe she should have been in jail. Tim went to meet her with the police. Jax has broken ribs and a broken leg, but also bit her up pretty badly. Dude, jail, prison, sun, vaporize. Apparently, she just started sobbing when they took her into custody. We all end up at Lee and Amy's house, and this is so heartbreaking. Karen, Tim's 12-year-old, broke down and said she was so happy Emily was gone. She admitted that Emily would spank her and her sisters and say mean things about their fat, frumpy mother, and they should be grateful God gave them such a cool, pretty stepmom.
I'm so frustrated with OP, dude, because, you know, if someone's attacking you, probably maybe you should think about how they're treating the kids that they're around. You could have stepped in there.
After all the children go to bed, Amy told us all that she was a target of Emily too. That's why she was suspicious of her. Emily was incredulous that Amy could be a sapphic and look so feminine. So she would always point out men and make crude statements and even make dating profiles for her and try to set her up on dates. She once held her against the wall and kissed her. And when Amy pushed her away, she said, "See, I knew you weren't
oh my God. What? She should be freaking in jail.
As for Emily's children, they are 16, 15, 11, 9, 7. 16, 15, and 7 are with their fathers. 11, 9 are with child welfare. Tim wants to get custody of them, and their father has not been in the picture for a very long time. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories that are not quite this unhinged. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever you listen, and search OK Storytime. And there you will find the complete archive of our show.
Yeah, this woman needs to be in jail. I'm just like shocked that all of this is coming out now.
Under the jail, dude.
I'm shocked that all of this is coming out now.
There is a lot more detail, but I'm just mentally and emotionally exhausted. We are taking all the children away for the weekend. Therapy for everyone. I'm just hoping we can get this all resolved as smoothly as possible. This is hands down the most insane, most traumatic, most honestly asinine thing I've ever gone through, and it's still ongoing. I'm grateful I've been able to talk about it here, and I hope I can keep updating because it is really helpful for me to hear outside perspective. And that is the end of that story.
Just like when people show you who they are, believe them. And
Wowzers.
then, if they're attacking you, think maybe they're hurting other people in my life. Maybe I should go tell everyone. Like, it's just like the multiple moments where OP was made aware of crazy things that Emily did and didn't do anything.
It's true.
Or at least did something after the fact.
Once you are told how someone is, you should, and not even told, but once
everyone.
You are shown
Yeah.
how somebody is, you should most certainly not just allow them to continue being that way.
I can't get my sister-in-law to leave after Thanksgiving. I had to involve my parents.
Wow, well, at least you didn't have to involve the police.
Yeah, I mean, parents as bouncers, almost as good. So, throwaway account, this is long one, I apologize. The situation is just odd. I, 30 male, just bought my first house and decided to host Thanksgiving for my big extended family, about 20 people. Among those I invited were my brother and his wife, both 35, and my nieces, 5, 3, 2, all who were driving from out of state. By the way, this comes from illustrious phase 121, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, because my house isn't big enough for for everyone to spend the night. And I also rented out an Airbnb down the road for anyone traveling a long distance to stay overnight at. That is super nice. Wow. It ended up being my parents' brother and aunt and uncle staying there while my husband's siblings and parents stayed with us. On Thanksgiving morning, while we were all running around like crazy getting the food together, my brother at some point slipped out and drove all the way back home, leaving his wife and 3 kids with our family.
What?
That's weird.
What?
That's
okay,
a little
so
weird.
They're getting divorced, yeah?
After calling and texting from several family members, he said he would be back the next day to pick up his wife and kids and to have them enjoy Thanksgiving with us as he took their only car. His wife seemed very nonchalant about the whole ordeal. I offered to pay for an Uber or Lyft home for her to figure out what happened and watch the girls, which she declined. We continued the day with the awkward air around it, but slowly started noticing that she was passing her children off on the other people throughout the day without asking. At first, it wasn't a big deal as we were worried about her in this whole fiasco, but eventually it became annoying. She would appear in the kitchen with the baby, pop her into someone else's arms who was in the middle of cooking, then disappear for an hour or so into the living room to watch some TV. I don't mind helping when asked, but she never would ask, and it was always someone busy with cooking. So she's just like, here's my kid, take care of it, and I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna go play Clash of Clans or whatever, or Bejeweled. What's the Bejeweled one? Is it Bejeweled? Is it called Bejeweled? Bejeweled.
What's the Bejeweled one?
The one with the jewels. When we finally sat to eat, she ended up sitting her girls at one end of the table and sitting on the opposite end, leaving her kids, one of which couldn't really feed herself, another needing lots of help to fend for themselves. Of course, my parents jumped on board helping, but my sister-in-law never once asked anyone to help and just enjoyed her dinner. At the end of the night, I offered to drive sister-in-law back to the Airbnb, but she refused, saying her and the kids were staying in the house that night. I was very confused since all of their stuff was back at the Airbnb. I told her my husband's family was staying here and that our family was at the Airbnb, which she confirmed, then said, yeah, but we're really tired and want to stay here. You don't even have to drive. He's getting you a freaking car.
If the homeowner's telling you go. It's their house.
I told her there wouldn't be space for more than 4 people, and she still didn't move. She's standing her ground. My parents ended up bringing the girls back, but my sister-in-law stayed her ground on my couch until it was 12:30 a.m. I was angry and exhausted. I told her she needed to go, or I was going to call 911 because she clearly was having some kind of episode of some kind. She still didn't budge, and I tried calling my brother about 5 or 6 more times before finally giving up and calling my parents. I was worried if I left her alone, she would do something. I know she's not acting in the most stable of ways.
She's being like, I'm staying here.
I don't trust that. I don't trust that. That is spooky. My mom came over about 2 a.m. and tagged me out, where she ended up staying up with sister-in-law for the rest of the night. The next morning, they were both still up and chatting over coffee. That's good, I guess. I asked her when my brother was coming to pick her up, and she just shrugged, and something in me snapped. I yelled at her that she needed to go, and I didn't care how, but since nobody was telling me anything that was going on, I wasn't going to put up with his BS any longer. She just said that she needed a ride. My mom called my dad, who brought the girls over, and he had to physically pick up my sister-in-law to get her out of the house. My dad ended up making the 4-hour drive to drop my sister-in-law off at home, and we kept the girls to make sure they were safe. My dad told me when he dropped off my sister-in-law, my brother was at home watching the football game and didn't seem surprised that she was home without the girls. My dad grabbed some extra clothes and toys before he left and told my brother to call me later. Currently, me and my parents are swapping with watching the kids, and my brother is calling me telling me how terrible I was to punt his wife out like that. I don't understand what's going on. He's going to come next weekend to get the girls. He still never explained why he left and why his wife refused to leave my house.
So they're okay?
They can't be. This is weird.
The brother...
Unless they wanted like a...
How dare you treat my wife this way?
Maybe they're
my guy.
Maybe they're pawning off the kids to have like a vacation, like they're in on it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It's only been a few days, but I feel terrible about punting her out in a possible crisis moment. But I felt like I was going crazy and didn't want to be responsible for her as she was already behaving a little erratic all day. Am I the a-hole? There's an update. I feel like we need to understand what's going on, but no one's telling anyone anything. So like, how are we going to help you? You know?
Yeah.
But We got an update. So, sorry for the lack of update. It's been wild and crazy time since Thanksgiving, and my family has been processing everything. A little background that I haven't touched on. Me and my brother had a falling out when we began dating his wife due to him finding religion and being convinced I was living a life of sin. I wasn't invited to their wedding and hadn't heard from him until his first daughter was born, when we sort of smoothed some things over. Right after Thanksgiving, we tricked my brother and told him the kids were at my house so he could come get them, but my husband had taken them out somewhere to enjoy themselves while my parents and I held an impromptu intervention. My brother finally spilled everything that had happened between him and his wife. Apparently, his wife suffers with some sort of severe mental illness. Someone said postpartum in the chat. You might be right. And never told my brother. After the birth of my third niece, she's decided she no longer wanted to take her medications and has been spiraling ever since. This is how my brother found out about the illness. I don't know all the details, but a few things are these. My brother told me what she did in her spirals was leave him and the children alone for about 15 days while she found herself in the woods.
Whoa, what?
Well, sometimes you have to find yourself in the woods, and other times you have to raise your family.
This needs professional help.
Yeah.
She spent $13,000 on various plastic surgeries, all from the girls' college fund.
Oh,
Thought that he had swapped out their children with dolls because he doesn't trust her with them. What?
all right. So just like full on mental.
Open
episode.
credit cards in all the children's names just in case. He closed them down right away.
Yeah, okay.
And apparently all of these started off with some indication of a spiral beforehand. And my brother told her if she didn't try to get better, he was leaving her and taking the kids with him. A few moments before Thanksgiving, she was showing signs, and my brother had plans to take her to a hospital. That's good. But she seemed to have taken a turn for the better, and he thought she was medicated again. However, what had really happened is she saw our post on Facebook about our new house, and she somehow convinced herself that I was secretly living her life.
Right. Okay.
Like my husband was her husband, and secretly he bought this house for her and him to live in. She found the Zillow listing, printed out pictures, and even hired an interior decorator to start working on all the changes she was going to make. One of the craziest things she did was make a secret home renovation TikTok channel where she posted pictures and would pretend she was making updates to the home using our pictures from Facebook/our family group chat. She had also photoshopped herself over me and her family pictures.
I'm like laughing because I'm concerned. This is insane.
Yeah, this woman needs help.
What?
This woman needs help. The morning of Thanksgiving, she told him that she was having an affair with my husband and that she was leaving him and moving into my home. My brother believed her delusion and drove home to get some space/think everything over. Was it a smart decision to leave a delusional woman who thinks she owns my house in my home with me and my husband? No, not at all. But I never said my brother was a smart man. Her weird behavior the entire dinner was trying to get closer to my husband. She would pass off the kids because they were trying to get between her and her true love. I hadn't realized it at the time, but she also chose to sit next to him at the dinner table, leaving her kids at the other side. Apparently, her episode of refusing not to leave was her trying to stay up late to get a moment alone with my husband. She finally realized that it wasn't going to happen, so she broke down on my couch. When my brother got home, he realized that she was having another episode. Now he realizes it.
Yeah,
and
a little too late.
Too late, and started setting up hospital intake stuff for her, hence why he wasn't answering his phone. When my dad dropped my sister-in-law off, he told him that we had the girls, and my brother took that as we were offering care for them while all of this was happening. That was just a miscommunication on my dad's part.
Okay.
He broke down in tears at my kitchen table, and we decided that my parents could take him in and we could temporarily take in the girls while him and his wife either get divorced or work through this, which shout out to OP for taking care of the girls. Like, this is a crazy, stressful situation, and shout out to OP for making it a little better.
Well, yeah, sometimes situations in life get a little crazy, but you know, as the aunt of these children, it's like you bear some level of responsibility, and
shout out for you for taking on the mantle.
Yeah, good on you for taking it.
Either way, we're going to make a better effort to be in my brother and niece's life. We've had the girls a little over 2 months now. Wow, it's been a sec. And it's been amazing. I'm so happy they are in our lives again, even if it's only temporary. I've seen a genuine change in my brother since the separation between him and his wife, and it's 100% been for the better. Okay, this is what happens when a family unites to solve a problem instead of just cutting people out, right?
Right.
He seems less stressed and comes to dinner every night with us and the girls. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update. He has visited his wife a few times. However, I haven't heard much about her during this time, but he seems to be leaning towards a divorce and moving back closer to me and her parents, which I think would be a welcomed change. It's been a weird couple of months, and I'm just glad things are finally getting back in place. And that is where this story ends.
My sister-in-law tried to take my house, so I revealed the truth.
I cast spell, reveal truth.
Ooh. Throwaway for obvious reasons. This happened 2 nights ago, and I'm still feeling some type of way about it. Background, my 30 female husband, 32 male, has a younger sister, sister-in-law 25 female. Sister-in-law is currently going through a divorce with 4 children. My husband and I also have 4 children. My husband and I live on a very quiet country back road in our little town, us and his family being the only residences on the road. So both his sister and their families and his parents live within walking distance of our house. By the way, this comes from throw that asterisk on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my husband and I have been married for 7 years and have 4 young children. My husband bought the land we live on from his parents when he was 18. Wow. And when we got married, we built a house on it. We designed our house with a big family in mind and designed it to be our forever home. It has never been a thought to move or look elsewhere. My sister-in-law is going through a divorce. She is struggling, to say the least. She was in a very toxic relationship with her ex, with her contributing just as much as he was, and he filed for divorce and moved out, leaving the 4 kids with her. My mother-in-law called my husband 2 nights ago and asked if we could come over for a chat. We get there, and my in-laws and sister-in-law are sitting on the couch like they were staging some kind of intervention. It was just really strange. My mother-in-law didn't beat around the bush at all. She explained how sister-in-law's ex was getting the house in the divorce, and they would be homeless within the month if we didn't give her our home. It honestly took me a second to comprehend what she even said because it was so out of left field. Husband didn't need that second and looked them straight in the eyes and said, no. In-laws started telling us things like, you guys don't need all that house. You guys can move into one of the new neighborhoods in town. You guys can just build a new house. I offered to open up our playroom and guest bedroom to them. Yeah, that's a sensible solution. Until they could find somewhere to live, we have air mattresses and the guest room has a full bath, but that wasn't good enough, apparently. That's when we got up and left. They began yelling after us, saying, we don't care about the children. Family helps family. We're being greedy and selfish. I'm honestly so proud of how we reacted because my first instinct was to go off and say some hurtful things, but we went home to our home. We love sister-in-law's kids and obviously do not want them to be homeless, but they don't need my house at the expense of my own children and family. I don't know why sister-in-law's family deserves my home. What about my kids? Now the in-laws are calling and texting saying, we don't care about the kids. We're selfish and greedy. We're making her homeless. And I'm wondering if maybe we were too quick to say no. So am I the a-hole for not giving my home to my sister-in-law? No! Don't give your home to someone. That's crazy.
It would be very different if they were like, just for like a temporary
a couple
stay,
months.
however long they need to get back on their feet.
Yeah. Don't give up your home. Also talk to your sister-in-law directly and say, hey, would be happy to host you guys, have you here until you can get back on your feet, find someplace. I'm not going to just give you my house.
Yeah, you don't get to just have my house. You can just move into one of the new neighborhoods is one of the most insane things I've ever heard.
Insane. Relevant comments. Cruel Summer, not the a-hole. You can't be making someone homeless when you have literally offered them space in your own home. Yeah. Sister-in-law is making herself homeless by turning down offers of assistance because they aren't exactly what she's going for. She's really the selfish and greedy one because she insists on displacing your family rather than humble herself to live temporarily in someone else's home. Sometimes it sucks to suck, and for sister-in-law, this may be one of those times. But word to the wise, take your offer off the table. You've already seen that they are willing to resort to anything to get you to bend and cave. They aren't interested in respecting you or treating you with dignity. When sister-in-law gets desperate, she may finally agree to your offer, but that doesn't mean the bullying will stop. Likely, it'll get worse, and she'll try to make your life miserable from within your own home until you're forced to consider punting her out. And then the guilt trips will get 1,000 times worse as you are now literally punting her out onto the street. Instead, call their bluff and say, we are very disappointed with how little respect this family has for our family, our children, and our own home. In light of this, the previous offer to open up the playroom to sister-in-law is no longer on the table, as we feel it would be a mistake to try and share space with someone who clearly has no respect for us. We rest easy in knowing that all of the rest of you, who are clearly not as greedy or selfish as us, are likely waiting with open arms to accept sister-in-law and her kids into your homes, so she will have somewhere to go without our offer. Ooh, that's a nice response. OP responds, my husband has already told sister-in-law that she isn't welcome anymore, but honestly, if it came down to it, I would take the kids in a heartbeat. They didn't ask for this, and they're struggling so much. But sister-in-law can sleep in the shed. And Sushi Bento Box says, how is the ex getting the house if she's the one with the kids? Assuming that they're his kids, that is. OP says, the house is his, bought and paid for by him, without her contributing a cent. So that definitely factors in. But from my understanding, she can't buy him out because she has no money, and the in-laws can't or won't buy him out either. And I'm also understanding that he is paying quite a pretty penny in child support, so I don't think she would get the house paid for by him and child support. She may have had to pick one or the other, and I can say with certainty she would choose child support money.
Go figure.
Yeah. Dogmother123 says, your in-laws are old. Their family is grown up now. They don't need their house. They should stop being so selfish and move out somewhere smaller so their daughter can have their house. Why are they making her homeless? Why don't they care about their grandkids? How is any of that reasonable? Not the ale.
Yeah, exactly. Them being like,
Flip
you're
it,
making
yeah.
the kids homeless. It's like,
Flip it on anyone.
how about you? No, you are also doing that.
I knew you.
My husband has been dealing with his parents and sister. I've been ignoring all the texts and calls, but from what they're saying, their house is too small, only 2 bedrooms, and they need something bigger for the kids to be able to thrive. So obviously that means my own kids have to be moved out of the home they've all lived in for their whole lives and just go somewhere else. While my husband and I still pay for them to live in our house because sister-in-law doesn't work and has no plans to. And there is an update, but man, oh man, how entitled these people who don't have the funds to be this entitled.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't, you cannot be this entitled when you literally have nowhere else to go.
Well, it sounds like, because their setup was from an inheritance situation, right? Where it's like the land at least was inherited and then they built
it was
from the grandfather.
Well, from what I understood, I think maybe the parents had inherited it and OP's husband bought it when he was 18. Yeah, he bought it from them.
Bought it when he was 18.
That's what it said.
I feel like there's a wealth disparity going on here that's driving this entitlement, where they're just like, well, you already have all the money. It's like, just make more money and buy another house.
But there is an update. So, as a lot of you and myself thought, sister-in-law was lying about a lot. Not going to go into too much detail because it's seriously years worth of lies. But my husband and I called the ex-brother-in-law and we 100% fully believe everything her ex told us. He has no reason to lie to us and said over and over he just wants the best for his kids and he's trying his best not to do anything that could possibly harm in a court of law. She lied about him getting the house, lied about how much she was going to get in child support, lied about how often she would have her children. Something else that came out is that her oldest child is not even her ex's child.
Oh my God.
This lady.
Are her pants on fire? Because she's
a liar. Just so many lies. We feel so incredibly stupid and deceived and disgusted, to be honest. We told my in-laws everything he had said, and they were upset to find out she has been lying, but they kind of doubled down, saying, she must have a good reason. She's backed into a corner. She's really going through a tough time.
Golden child.
And a bunch of other nonsense. Sister-in-law was called and asked to come and join us. She, of course, took zero accountability for the lying and sneaking, and was screaming at us about how gross we were for going behind her back to her ex. How she'll never trust us again because we betrayed her. Oh no, boo-hoo. She also let us know that she was asking for our house because she truly feels like we had actually built it for her. That's so funny because we didn't. They didn't. Our kids' rooms were how she would have designed them herself. She would have loved to cook in my kitchen. She loves my bathroom layout. Basically everything about my house is how she would have built it herself. And she thinks that I must have somehow known she would have needed a home in the future.
All right. Mental help. She needs, I don't know if she needs meds. I don't know if she needs therapy, but like that is one of the most insane things I've ever seen someone
billionaire's
think.
mansion. Wow, you really knew I would want all this.
Oh my God, you did all this for
Wow,
me?
This is exactly what I had
You
in
shouldn't
mind.
have. I would have done the same thing. No, this is our house.
Bye. At that point, I was just done, and so was my husband. Can't argue with bat crap crazy. We left to a whole lot of screaming about no longer being family and to not expect to see them again.
Thank God.
We don't want to. Honestly, I think never seeing them again is the only way to go from here. It's been a crazy few days since then. We hired a friend of my husband to put up a privacy fence around our entire property and added extra cameras to our security system. We have a good family friend of our family, not husband's, on the police force and let him know the situation so he knows if he gets a phone call from us that it's serious. I think sister-in-law thought that she could have my house because she loved it. That's kind of it. She wanted it, so she thought she deserved it. I guess she was either planning to sell her house at some point or maybe rent it out. I have no idea. And I really don't think she had thought that all the way through. She just thought if she told us all she was losing the house, then we would feel obligated to help in the way she wanted. By the way, we want you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
It is what we want.
It's what we want. But there's a little bit left to the story. I think we all know you're not the a-hole, though.
Well, I would be, this level of derangement is like, I'm concerned that you, for 1 second, seriously thought that we were just going to give you the house because you like it?
Yep, just ignore her. No contact, low contact, one of those. But let's finish this off. So I hope this clears up some questions. I know I feel at peace with the situation. My husband has been grieving a bit. He's sad that his parents have chosen a liar over a man who has done everything for his family, never hesitated to help, and only ever been a doting son. But I think this is for the best. They don't treat him the way he deserves, and I'm glad to be rid of him. I'm sad for my kids and the situation this puts them in, but my family has enough love for everyone. Thank you to everyone who took the time to comment and message and give advice and ask questions. Hopefully you guys won't hear from me again. And that is the end of that story.
It looks like we didn't hear.
And we didn't hear from you again, so I'm going to assume that it all worked out.
It did. I'm going to mentally say that it all worked out.
All worked out. And you got your beautiful house with all of your kids.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law lied about my wedding. Now I'm the bad guy?
Ooh, she turned you into Billie Eilish.
I am a long-time reader, first-time posting. It has been a few years since our wedding. However, I told a friend our wedding story recently and realized how actually crazy it was. So I thought I would share. First of all, we did not have a traditional wedding and never would. My future husband and I had our fill of weddings that take lots of effort and money. We literally wanted our families to turn up, celebrate with us, have a nice time, and then leave happy. By the way, this comes from Indubitably Doubtful. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So the plan was that we would have a celebrant marry us in a family friend's cocktail bar, have drinks, cocktails, and some food, and then people could come back to an apartment we had rented for the after party. Fun. Immediate family only, and done. Our idea of perfect. We also did not have much money, and I have a very large extended family, 100 plus, so we were very strict. Immediate family only. I would invite my immediate family, and future husband would invite his immediate family, and his aunt and cousins from one side of the family because he does not speak to the other side. No friends. You invite one friend, then you have to invite them all. Simple and small. My family was fine with this. Future husband's family was not. Drama number 1, the date. We had limited time to get married due to paperwork deadlines, and my sister was going overseas for a long period. We had about 1 to 2 months of prep time and the choice of 2 Saturdays. One on my sister's birthday, and the other 4 days before or after future sister-in-law's birthday. We picked the latter, but we were firmly told that this was inappropriate because it was future sister-in-law's birthday weekend, and therefore it would ruin her birthday. My sister was fine, so we got married on her actual birthday instead. Yeah, because she's an adult.
Right.
Drama number 2, the invite list. Future husband's family has a very long list of family friends and was upset that we did not invite them. They were also upset that future husband decided not to invite the side of the family that no one likes. It was very much a, we must keep up with appearances conversation. The issue of not inviting the other half of future husband's extended family continued until future husband gave his parents an ultimatum. Either one side comes or none of them do. I was very proud of how he stood up for himself. I was not really a part of this, but it was very stressful. I am good friends with future husband's relatives that he was inviting, and they approached me, saying they would not be offended if we did not invite them because they could see it was causing drama. So clearly there were lots of behind-the-scenes discussions. Regardless of their clear dislike of our plans, we went ahead. But then it just got worse. Drama 3, Cake Gate.
Not the cake.
Woo! Future mother-in-law casually asked one day if she could make the cake. I did not even want a cake because they are a complete waste of time and money. And future husband said he did not want her to because he just wanted everyone to relax and not do anything. We did not think anything of it. Later, I had breakfast with a friend, future husband's relative, and they said that future mother-in-law was upset I would not let her make our wedding cake. Why would I not let future mother-in-law make our wedding cake? All this, again, with no discussion to my face about it. This escalated to the point where we went to shop, took future mother-in-law, tasted cakes, and she bought us one. A cake that I could not eat because of my food intolerance. But whatever, I did not care. Drama number 4, the dress. I made a very simple wedding dress with my mom. I had a great time making it and will keep those memories close for a long time. Future mother-in-law and future sister-in-law ambushed me in the kitchen one day, asking a bunch of questions about why I was doing what I was doing, and suggested I check out XYZ website if I wanted something cheap. Or maybe she wants something that she made with her mom.
Yeah, maybe she wants something beautiful and she
Sentimental.
already has it done and is already ready to go. What are we doing?
But that was not the point. I just reiterated that I was happy making my dress with my mom. They were not happy with this. On the actual wedding day, future husband and I got ready together and met everyone at the bar. The only stressful thing about the wedding was literally the in-laws. But the actual wedding day made it worse, and I have spent a lot of time trying to focus on the good things, but it was very hard. Drama number 5, so surprised. Future sister-in-law has this tone of voice she uses when trying to be sincere. It's like Regina in Mean Girls when she gives a compliment, but internally hates it. The tone of voice is always accompanied by nice, a smile, and a high-pitched tone. I have witnessed many Christmas presents accepted with this insincere tone, only for them to be returned the next day. So, future sister-in-law walks into the bar, gives me a very socially appropriate kiss on each cheek, and then says in her trying but feeling to be sincere tone, "Oh, OP, I'm so surprised. You look so nice." I think it's safe to say that one thing every wedding guest is expected to do is say nice things to the bride, regardless of how casual the wedding is. That was not a great start to the day. And it was just an overall mean and witchy thing to say, regardless of how I looked. Yeah, it's very rude.
Being like, I'm surprised you look nice.
Oh my God, I'm so surprised. You look so
whack.
nice. Wow, I didn't know you could look that nice.
Yeah. Wow, I expected you to look terrible today, but I guess you look all right.
Drama number 6, speech. My future father-in-law made a speech that somehow included a discriminatory joke and finished with a series of sexist ball and chain jokes about how my future husband would no longer have any money or a life of his own, etc. My mom told me later that she felt very uncomfortable and that the things he said were unnecessary. She was right, and it made me feel like his family thought I was some kind of gold digger, which, as I was the only person currently employed in our relationship at the time, could not have been further from the truth. Drama number 7, the little white big lie. This was the icing on top of what was generally a pretty crap wedding experience for me. Despite our good intentions to have something fun and relaxing, there will always be someone there to bring it down, I guess. After the wedding, both my husband and I were confronted with the fact that my mother-in-law had lied to all of her friends and family about our wedding. My husband found this out when he was interrupted at dinner with a relative after starting to talk about our wedding. Mother-in-law proceeded to tell an elaborate story about how it was all a surprise, how we just invited them for lunch, how brother-in-law was in on it because they flew interstate for the surprise lunch, and how they all turned up shocked, but it was lovely. She said we practically eloped and that they were sorry they could not come. My husband had to sit and listen to this unravel. He went along with it because the alternative was telling his relative that his mother was a liar. Tell them.
Yeah, let him know.
Let him know. Be like, oh, Mom, what are you doing? That's not how it went. You know that. Lots of discussions followed about how we felt his family was ashamed of our choices. They denied it, but we then found out they continued to perpetuate the lie. I experienced a similar situation with some different family friends who asked me why we had a surprise wedding. I was caught off guard and went with the lie, but I was annoyed and approached mother-in-law the next day. Stop going with the lie. But you know what's not a lie? You can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Pokey Storytime.
And that is the truest thing I've heard all day.
But do you have any final thoughts?
Man, like, don't be afraid to put people on blast when they're
Truly.
blasting you, dude.
Especially, I mean, like, she's not even there. Like, just be like, no, that's not true. Who told you that?
And then you don't have to be like, and she's a disgusting, despicable, irredeemable
You literally
liar.
can just say, like, you don't even have to call her out by name. You can just say, oh, no, we did it like this. I don't know where you heard that.
Yeah, I don't know why she thought that. That's weird, though, that she thought that. But yeah, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened. Yeah, stop going on with along with the lie. OP continues, I was upset and asked her why she lied to everyone. She said she didn't want anyone's feelings to be hurt that they were not invited. And that it was not a big deal because I lie all the time. I even lied to my husband just this morning. Okay. Sigh.
What a wonderful partner to have.
Yeah, wow. Yikes. Safe to say I have some trust issues now. Ha 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 ha. But my husband and I are happily married and stronger than ever. And on that note, I think I should leave it there. I should go focus on the good things, right? Yes. And that is the end of that story and the end of this episode.
Wow, 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 wow.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
see you tomorrow.
My mother-in-law gossiped about the past to my daughter. It unraveled my marriage.
Don't do that. Stop it.
My wife cheated on me nearly 10 years ago.
Oof.
I won't go into specifics as they're unimportant, but due to the fact that I saw blame on both of our parts, I forgave her and we moved past it. By the way, this comes from user throwaway28471937, and if you want to submit your own stories, send them to the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Oh, yeah.
So, my daughter is 16 years old and she only just found out from my mother-in-law, who seems to have decided she was old enough to hear the family gossip and that she would be mature enough to confront her. Initially, my wife thought I had told her and came into my office where I had been to ask me what the heck I was thinking and if I was trying to destroy their relationship. Oh gosh, this is gonna be an ICU. She and my daughter have been strained for a couple years now, lots of arguing on both sides. She refused to believe that I hadn't said anything at first until my daughter entered the room and joined in on the screaming that I was too weak and her own mother had sold her out.
What?
It's the Spider-Man meme where everyone's pointing at each other.
Everyone's just
like, what's going on? Who cheated? Why?
Yeah.
This is your fault? Yeah.
Yeah.
The fighting went on for a long time, and honestly, I may as well have not been there. For all the good I did, I tried to step between them when I was concerned, but that only ended up with some ringing in my ear. Haha. Eventually, my wife left to cool off, and my daughter and I could talk. She wasn't happy with me either, and didn't hesitate to tell me so. But she wasn't screaming or throwing crap anymore, so I just let her get it out. She asked me why I stayed, and I was honest that I was no perfect husband, and I decided to not end my marriage, break up our home, and destroy her childhood for something that I held blame in as well. The entire time I was speaking, she just kept watching me with this sad face that made me uncomfortable. But when I finished, she just shook her head and said that I needed to leave my wife and that the cheating wasn't the only issue. Oh.
Uh-oh.
She started bringing up every significant flaw my wife has. She brought up my wife getting angry at me because I had to put too much creamer in her coffee, for example. Just trivial crap. I told her as much, but she just kept shaking her head. It ended up turning into an argument where she insisted I was some sort of victim and making some kind of getaway plan. I kept trying to talk her down, but that was going nowhere. Okay, so before we go into more of this, she's 16 years old.
Yeah.
She's in her teenage phase, like rebel years. This is like her rebel years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she also might be doing the I think I know everything.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, yes, she is a perspective from your family.
Yeah.
And she is your daughter. So she sees things that maybe you don't see or understand. And then she's like, that's not okay.
Sure.
I think before we go anywhere else, family therapy.
What great idea. Great idea.
Family therapy with all three of you, maybe between your wife and your daughter, between you and your daughter, and all three of you. See how that works.
Yeah, because I feel like if things are fine between you and your wife, then like that's for you to tell your daughter, not your daughter to tell you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like you said, she doesn't know everything, especially not about your guys' relationship. So you just gotta like explain it to her.
Yeah, maybe to her, like the trivial crap for you guys is nothing. This is like, I'm used to this, but she's not cool with it. You got to tell her, hey,
right,
this is our relationship, and that happened in the past. We've worked on it.
Right.
So
Because she's also like coming at it from a teenager lens where when you're a teenager, you fight about stupid things like that. But when you're an
Right.
adult, it's like, yeah, maybe it was annoying, but like, it's fine. We're fine.
Yes.
So
I first tried my wife, but found out my call went straight to voicemail. So I called my mother-in-law to inform her of the situation. My wife had already made it there and planned to stay overnight to calm down because she didn't want to see either of our faces.
oh, wow.
It's been a few days now and I still haven't seen her or heard from her, but her mother informs me she's okay, just very emotional. This is also on the mother-in-law. She's the one who kind of spilled the beans that had no reason to be spilled.
Yeah, she didn't need to do that.
So, I'm also scared for my wife. She has had mental health struggles before, and if she's going through that again, I should be there to help. Edit. To the people who have commented or private messaged me to say I shouldn't care, my wife almost passed away the last time she had an episode. And I don't think even my daughter, as angry as she is right now, wants her mom gone.
Oh, wow.
My daughter told me she hopes her mother never came back. Oh, man. This is definitely a conversation for your wife and your daughter to have as well. This
And
is not
your
okay.
therapist.
Yeah, and therapist for
Oh,
sure.
my gosh.
I'm just feeling defeated and tired. I've done everything I can to keep this family floating, and somehow I'm still failing.
Oh.
It's beginning to feel like I always do at everything and always will fail at everything as long as I live. Oh my goodness.
Gosh. This
Why
is
is
so
everyone so
sad.
hard on each other?
This is so hard to listen to.
Well, this is,
OP.
whoa, yeah. What is going on? You're
It's
doing a great
okay.
job. Being a father, being a husband, no one said it was ever going to be this easy.
No.
But you're doing the best you can, and I feel like you need some support
Yeah.
from your family as well, rather than being attacked.
Yeah.
We have some relevant comments. Commenter number 1. Okay, few thoughts here. 1. Mother-in-law is completely in the wrong. It's no one's business to fill daughter in on family gossip that includes her parents. 2. I'm sure some of this is normal teenage rebellion crap. Yes.
See? You guessed it.
I was a teenager once.
Yeah.
You were a teenager
I
once.
was a teenager once.
And guess what? We were all rebellious.
Yes.
Sometimes we still are.
And we always thought that we knew everything. We didn't.
100%. However, your wife got angry about too much creamer in the coffee. You say it's trivial stuff, but how often does his wife get overly sensitive about trivial crap? There is a point where it becomes you managing your wife's emotional outburst instead of wife working on her own issues. Does daughter have a point at all? OP says, I 120% agree. I'm slightly in shock that my wife is mad at me and our daughter, but somehow not too angry to stay in the house of the person who told her, aka mother-in-law? I don't know. That part has been messing me up a lot, I think. My daughter has definitely been going through some teenage rebellion stuff, which I haven't minded because it's introduced me to a lot of new music when she's mad. But my wife has had some issue with her because she's scared when my daughter gets older, she'll regret all the crazy hair or odd clothes. I've been trying to help her with that because I was a little teenage dirtbag myself, and my daughter is a good kid. No real trouble out of her, other than being a smart butt sometimes, which she comes by honest. To the rest, I don't know. My wife is temperamental, but she's not violent. I mean, she just gets mad easy. She gets over it pretty fast though. Like she yelled about the coffee thing, dumped it out, got a new cup, and it never came up again. I honestly forgot about it until my daughter brought it up. It really wasn't a big deal. Commenter number 2. What the F was your mother-in-law thinking to tell that crap to a kid? She sounds like a miserable a-hole who loves to stir up the crap. I wouldn't even be remotely cordial or polite to her again. OP says, from what she said, for some reason, she was idiotic enough to think my daughter would keep it to herself, which honestly I'm glad she didn't because I know how secrets like that can eat at a kid, and that it was harmless gossip because it was so long ago and I stayed. Like if I had forgiven her, somehow my daughter wasn't meant to be affected by it. I've been working on staying calm because she's my only link to my wife right now, and yelling at her is a good way to get blocked and have no sure way of getting updates on her. Commenter number 3. Okay, just because someone isn't violent doesn't mean they aren't making an emotional hostile environment for everyone else, and you may need to examine that, or I anticipate daughter will want to leave the house as soon as she's able to. My dad remarried a woman with a similar temperament. She was quick to anger, but quick to move on. Honestly, felt like an emotional roller coaster sometimes. Dad loved her, so he looked past this flaw as her partner chalking it off to just the way she is, but she's a good person. And yeah, that was true. She wasn't a bad person, but he failed to realize her emotional outbursts made us kids feel like the vibe around the house was tense, since small trivial things could make her snap, even just for a minute. It just wasn't pleasant to be all around. OP says they were always so close growing up. I mean, I felt like the bonus parent at times because they were so close when she was little. I remember being a bit jealous about it because I would laugh and think to myself that I thought dads and daughters were supposed to have this special relationship. Aha. They only really started fighting when my daughter was 14. I guess I still feel guilty because their first fight was 100% my fault and I still blame myself for it. Again, therapy. We need to resolve these issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Commenter number 3. Really? Their first fight was 100% your fault? That's amazing. You managed to force 2 other people to fight, basically created the difficulties in a mother/daughter relationship all by yourself? ? It sounds like you're very prone to taking responsibility or blame for other people's actions. This can be a good trait up to a point, but not when it's combined with another person who's emotionally harmful and likes to shift blame for their actions onto somebody else, which may describe your wife. Your daughter's telling you your wife is abusive, and she's telling you that the way you make excuses for her and accommodate your wife hurts her, makes her feel unprotected by you, disappointed in you, and sad for you. These things can be all true even if your wife is a good person in other ways, and even if she loves your daughter. You've told yourself that accepting your wife's explosive temper is a form of maturity on your part. For your daughter's sake and your own, and even your wife's, you need to ask yourself if what you're really doing is being an enabler or harmful behavior. Wow, that was real.
Yeah, this is not what I was expecting, honestly. I thought it was really the situation where the parents were just like, we got it, we're fine. But the commenters are making me like think about it more.
It's making me think about my home relationship.
Yeah.
Because this is very similar to what I had.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's definitely therapy. Definitely a problem that the parents need to figure out on their own. And as a family, but
I'm not like pointing it out there or like jumping to conclusions. The wife sounds like she has bipolar. She's very bipolar. My mom wasn't like this all the time.
Yeah.
She was like, one thing was out of place, all heck broke loose.
Yeah.
And it was nobody's fault, really,
Sure.
but it
still,
in this case, made the household kind of a toxic environment. So I
Yeah.
can see where the daughter is coming from, and I think she's just enough is enough. I'm tired of seeing my dad get kind of like abused, and letting mom get away with it. She shouldn't be doing that. She should have a calm conversation. So I get it. And guess what? Therapy.
And who was it that cheated? Was it the mom or the dad that cheated?
It seems like the wife cheated.
The wife
cheated 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Wow. But they resolved it.
So from the daughter's perspective, she's probably just seen this be a bad home situation already, and then finding out that like she cheated, she's just like, oh my gosh, mom is the worst. Mom is like the biggest problem.
Mom treats dad like this, like a punching bag.
Yeah.
Where dad like just says, oh, that's how she acts. Just
like it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The daughter is in this point standing up more for you, OP, than you kind of are for yourself, which the comments are kind of saying too.
God.
Again, this does need to be conversed between couple counseling and family therapy.
Yes. Maybe the 16-year-old does know everything after all. maybe she knows more than we give her credit.
The young minds are just crazy these days.
Crazy.
OP says, I just don't know if I can see it that way. I mean, my mom used to be really harmful when I was young in more ways than one. My daughter doesn't know about that. My mom passed away before she was born. My wife has never been anything like that at all. Okay, so you have a traumatic past as well growing up.
Yeah. It's not boding well.
This is all making sense now.
Yeah.
I do intend to talk to my daughter because a lot of people are saying my wife may be hurting my daughter behind closed doors. Other than the fighting, which we've been trying to work out for a while, I will speak with her, and depending on her answers, I will go from there. The biggest reason I dismissed my daughter's concerns, though, was because it was all about me. Like, during that talk, she never spoke up about her mother hurting her at all. If she had even told me that she had no reason for it, but she was afraid of her mother, I would have taken that to heart and would have figured it out from there. I just don't see my wife shouting and pouring out some coffee as anything remotely close to my mom. We're comparing apples to oranges, my guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Someone can still be harmful, but just in a less harmful way, I guess.
Yes. Commenter number 4. Tell us more about mother-in-law. Does she usually intrude on your personal lives like this? OP says, mother-in-law and my wife were always close. She said more than once that her mother is her best friend. Intrude, it's hard to say. I don't particularly like her knowing everything about our marriage because it's weird to me. But then I had no relationship to speak of with my mother when she was alive. So I have no idea if that's actually just me being weird. And we have an update, and it's 13 months later. I feel like we've said our piece.
Yeah.
There definitely needs to be a conversation with your mother-in-law and like, hey, there are things that are not okay to talk about.
Yes. Yes.
Sure, you can talk to your daughter, in this case, Opie's wife, talk to her about things, but maybe you should go through the parents first before you bring that up to our daughter.
Yeah.
You don't assume. Don't assume.
Yeah. Maybe that should come from the parents, the people that were actually like directly involved. And like maybe this daughter is old enough to talk about these things, or you thought that she was old enough to handle these things, but it seems to be coming out in a very dramatic way. So in that sense, it's like maybe either she isn't quite old enough, or she just needed to be told about it in a different way.
Yeah.
So
going to the mother-in-law, I want to know, one, why did she bring this up?
yeah, how did it come up?
You're like, oh, did you not know? Or like maybe your daughter was like,
Yeah.
why are mom and dad so funky? Like they've been off.
Right.
I don't know. I just want to know how it came up and why she was told this, other than mother-in-law was like, hey, you want to hear some juicy gossip?
Yeah.
On to the update. It's been a while. I probably will regret posting this as much as I did the first time, though for different reasons. Oh no, I don't like that. Before I begin, I want to thank all the kind people who reached out with genuine advice and with whom I had lovely conversations with. I appreciate you more than I can say. Checking my history, I saw that I never updated after the conversation with my daughter about her situation with my wife. We talked, and it went worse than I expected.
No.
But better than most of the comments. My wife never abused my daughter or threatened her physically. My daughter did bring up the yelling, and I listened, though she said she was never afraid of her mother, but she started to hate her mother when she noticed how she was treating me. Hence the change in appearance and rebelling. She liked that I stood up for her when it came to her new style, because then I was standing up for something. That makes me laugh a bit now, but at the time, I was confused. We talked a long time, and she said she thought maybe she can get over the resentment she had for her mother if she didn't have to see the way she treats me. Like again, it stems to you not standing up. You're just being a punching bag.
Yeah.
I didn't much like that at the time, and I admit I argued that I was an adult and she didn't have to fight my fights for me. My daughter said something like, if I don't, who will? And it just kind of stopped me in my tracks, because my only answer, sometimes you have to pick your battles, sounds weak when you pick none of them. Oof. All right.
Man, that was what the daughter said?
I think this is when the daughter and the father, like, kind of like both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
This is a real story. This is the truth hurts. I still intended to try and work on my marriage, despite the comments. I really hope to turn things around because of the previous relationship, and frankly, how much I still loved my then wife.
What?
My then wife. That's a big one. But then she didn't come home for weeks. I don't know if it was my daughter's needling or the fact I could tell she was upset at being abandoned by her mother at the first sign of trouble. One day, I eventually reached out and asked my ex-mother-in-law when my wife was going to come home and act like an adult, and was told she was looking into the divorce attorneys.
No.
And that if I wanted her back, I should really work on getting my daughter to apologize.
Okay. Okay. My mind just went through a flurry of emotions. I think at first I was thinking, okay, that sucks that the daughter is like ruining their marriage. But then I was like, okay, why is this woman like literally saying that their marriage like is dependent on the daughter apologizing? Like that does not seem like a good way to handle this at all.
Mom is upset that somebody actually called her out.
Yeah.
Someone called her out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oof.
That's crazy. The daughter is right this entire time.
Yeah.
Oh. It all felt so manipulative, and I just got angry. I just hung up and spoke to my own lawyer. After being served, she tried to come back and cry that it was her mental health, but I was still so angry. I just shut her down and told her to leave. Divorce was finalized a while ago. My daughter stays with me most of the time since her mother moved out of the state afterwards, and she wants to go to college in the area when the time comes, but visits mother-in-law and speaks to her mother on the phone sometimes. As much as I hate to admit it, their relationship is improving since the divorce, and I don't know how I can segue that. And by the way, your relationship can improve with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime.
Oh, yeah.
There's another relevant update, but let's discuss here.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe this was the reality that you needed. Maybe you.
Honestly.
Yeah, I was like, there was no relationship. Because it takes two to tango. And if it's just one person dancing here and the wife is not putting in the effort, I don't know, man. I don't want to say she's cheating on you again, but
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's part of me that's thinking like, okay, yeah, this daughter like really opened up your eyes and our eyes to what the wife was doing this whole time and like how bad she actually is. Like maybe the daughter was onto something. But then part of me is also thinking like, or is it the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I'm hearing the emotions and like I know that the wife is overreacting to things like this, but I'm not taking it personally because it's just kind of, you know, she has like mental health issues or something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, because what do you do in that situation if that's actually what's happening? Like if someone is just constantly like mad about something and then fine with it, like do you just like kind of let them happen and just be like, okay, like it's okay, we're figuring it out? Or do you try to make them stop?
Yeah, you just let it happen. You just settled like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
And if she's okay with this, I'm okay with this. No, you're adults. You
Yeah.
have adult conversations.
So if that's the case, then it sounds like maybe what the daughter's talking about isn't that on the money. You know, like maybe the daughter's not that right, and it really is just something that they need to deal with. And it's maybe a little bit harder for different people to accept because it makes sense. You know, like the husband chose to accept these things and to live with this stuff, but the daughter didn't. The daughter just was kind of born into that environment.
Yeah. She grew up in that environment while you guys kind of created that environment. I don't know. It was very weird because yes, emotions were tempered and all over the place.
Yeah.
But it seems like not like you and your wife didn't have like a full on adult conversation.
Yeah.
You guys were just like, divorce? All right, divorce.
Yeah. Like
what?
Yeah. I agree. Like, I feel like this could have been fixed, but like how everyone's going about it, I'm like, maybe we should get divorced just because of how we're dealing with this conflict.
I just feel it feels kind of bad because there was no attempt to try and salvage this.
Yeah.
Yes, it was just all emotions were so high tempered that it makes sense, and you say crazy things when it's like that. But you know, we're here now, and unfortunately, we didn't get the therapy.
I know, we really need that. Go to family counseling, please.
Just talk it out. Use your brain sometimes over your emotions.
Yeah, please.
But let's go ahead and finish this story. I don't hate my ex-wife, even if many, including my daughter, categorize her as abusive. She's the first woman I ever actually really clicked with in that way, and though I don't love her anymore, probably the last.
Wow.
I don't mind it so much. I have a full life without her around, and a quieter one as well. So this may be, I don't know. Yeah.
This seems like there's pros and cons.
100%. But anyway, thank you all again for listening, and I am bracing for you. I told you so's. I don't blame you. You did, and we have some relevant comments. Commenter 1. It does seem obvious that you were being a doormat if your own child viewed herself as needing to be your savior from her mother. Then learning the betrayal made how she felt 10 times more valid. I believe your ex-mother-in-law wanted this outcome and felt similar to your daughter.
Huh.
Hopefully you're doing better for yourself and listening to your daughter more instead of being defensive, LOL. Good luck with everything. OP says, my ex-mother-in-law may have, but with the crap storm she was constantly starting during the divorce, I doubt it. I think she just wanted to gossip and start drama. Predictable for her. From what I hear from my daughter, I don't ask, but she tells anyway. Mother-in-law is broken up about my ex leaving the state. Commenter 2, she thought your daughter should apologize? You will be so much better off without her. OP says, I'm fairly certain she wanted my teenage daughter to pretend she didn't even know, which is ridiculous, and regardless of my feelings on the incident, that wasn't going to happen, and I wouldn't want it to. And we have OP on the ex-mother-in-law and her visits. My mother-in-law is no longer allowed in my house due to some of her actions over the past year.
Wow.
But my daughter is 17 now with her own car, and I won't prevent her from talking with her on the phone or visiting her if she wants. She's never expressed a desire not to see her anymore, and I'm not going to force the issue. If she changes her mind, that's no problem for me. But I've been very clear that she has no obligation to cut off anyone over me. Why does ex-mother-in-law hate OP? OP says, there's a lot to that. She never really liked me exactly, mostly tolerated me because I was a decent husband in her words. But she tried to get me to drop the divorce since clearly my ex was having an episode when she brought it up in the first place. Then the divorce proceedings started, she insisted my ex should get full custody despite my daughter, and my ex-wife arguing against it. Then it was division of assets, and she had a problem with anything not handed over to my ex. Even ridiculous things. She argued my ex should get both cars. My ex was surprisingly reasonable, but it was like her mother wanted me punished for giving up on my ex. After a lot of screaming, when she showed up at my house anytime I was home, I eventually told her that she was no longer welcome, and if she came back, I would call the police to escort her off the property. I think that scared her, and she hasn't been my problem since. And you see where the screaming came from. The mother-in-law, that's the upbringing.
Yeah. Dang, man. That's rough.
I'm sorry, OP. It seems like you're doing a little bit better, and as long as you communicate with your daughter on those aspects, I mean, good for you. You're not controlling your daughter.
Yeah.
You're letting her live her life. But I think for your next partner, you know what you want and what you need, and
Yep.
stand up for yourself. If something's not okay, say it's not okay. And guess what?
Yeah.
That should be okay.
Right. Kind of sucks that like it sucks to think that this could have all been avoided if the mother-in-law just didn't talk about this like cheating incident and stuff. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it kind of seems like maybe this was the best decision.
It just seems like everyone was like, let's just go our separate paths.
Yeah.
Let's just, rather than try and, butt heads or try and force people to like each other. If
Yeah.
it's not going to work out and we don't feel comfortable with it, that's okay to go your separate
Walk
ways.
away.
Mm.
Walk away.
But that is the end of that story.
But that is sadly the end of this episode.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and see you tomorrow.